Hello! How is everyone? Happy Monday. Good to see everybody. Wow. Call up people. Say hi to, hi Kate. Hey Allie. Hey Eris. I'm not going to say that right. Eris Pjork, I think. Hello. Hi Tia. Hey Tony. Hey EK. Hello Jessica. Hello Lori. Wattweiler's Investigations. Karen. CB Kel, Cement Shoes, Kez Chick, Ava. Hi, Lori. I'll make sure I don't miss any. Molson Man, my cool cat. Let me do it right. Hey, Molson Man, you cool cats and kittens. How's it going? Hi. I don't want to miss anybody. I hope I. Hi, Sharon. I didn't. Hey, Mrs. O. Amelia Sparkles. Test chick. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Elizabeth. How's everybody doing? Whoo, what a day we've had. What a day. But before we get to the day, let's do this first.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash! Yeah.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash! Yeah.
I didn't actually mean to click it twice. I meant to click unshow or hide or whatever it is. And I played it twice. Oops, my bad. Sorry about that. Hey, MK, good to see you. Hey, Diane Marie, good to see you. Hello, I've learned a lot. Hi. Y'all, what a day in court did we have? Whew. All right, so let me recap. Let me set the scene. Hi, Mia. So everybody comes into court, everybody takes their seats, and it begins. And right away, the judge has an announcement. And there have been some jurors that have been tested positive for the vid. And I can't go any further than that, really, other than to say that because you know how they don't like it on the YouTubes. Bottom line is they did some switching around and put in some alternates, and everything kept going right along. Even though both sides actually thought they should take a time out and just see what's what. And the judge said, no, full steam ahead. We'll deal with it we will handle it if and when it happens, but it hasn't happened yet. And so there you go. Oh, Elizabeth. Well, you just smash it with as much or as little energy as you need or you feel is necessary or you want to, because here at the ward, we believe in free will and we just let people do what they're going to do and leave it at that. So there you go. All right. Then after all that, here comes the prosecution. They stand up again. Oh, hey guys, by the way, GM has said that they recovered some stuff that they didn't know that they had. And so there's that. And we've already let the defense know, and then here comes the harpoo. He stands up. I'll say, Your Honor, that's amazing what the vehicles today can do. Over here like Foghorn Leghorn. And they need time for their experts to analyze it. And the judge says, okay, let's give them time. We're still going ahead with the case. So they go ahead with the case. So then we get to the case. And I must confess, now I was watching. Thank you, Mia. Shmina, my other half. Hey, True Psych Ward. Hey. So then we have the forensicing, which is not a word, but it is a word that I like. So we're using it. All right. Yes, up to everybody. Hey, Curious Rose, up to everybody who has a channel. If you got a channel, let them sub. Share a like over here. So I'm not against that. So, okay, then the forensics get up on the stand. Okay. And we have Agent Nguyen, and she gets up there and she talks about all the protocols. And from her testimony, quite frankly, it sounds like all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. I don't think that on cross-examination, I don't think it was too super effective, whatever that was that they were trying to do. I felt like, it was what it was. So I kept waiting though for the one part that was puzzling to me is on cross they asked why she did certain things or didn't do others. Who asked her? And I felt like I don't think she was quite prepared for that kind of a question, because it is like an odd question just on its face. And she was like, then I think she was like, she finally was like, okay, I get what he's trying to get, or what he's coming around to. And bottom line is this: these are protocols. This is part of their standard operating procedure. This is the way they do things. And that's the answer that he got. And that was, in my opinion, a good answer. Vincent's missing ear. Hey, howdy, hey. And exactly, she's not a blood spatter specialist. And honestly, she performs some of the tests and not others, etc. Okay, so then we get to the meat and the potatoes. And we have the DNA expert witness testimony. Okay. And I have to say, hey, Naughty Yachty, good to see you. I have to say that with the DNA testing testimony, it was a little bit overwhelming and at times confusing. Okay. And I myself, to be quite honest, I'm going to have to definitely watch that part again, because oh, yay, Naughty. Hey Kate, you want to come up? The reason why I was confused about some of it is because, and I understand why she did it. It just makes it difficult to follow. So I wish that there had been a more detailed description of what, not just the item number. The item number means very well. It's not that it doesn't mean anything. It's just, it's harder to follow, right? And so some of the stuff I was like, the biggest thing for me that I was puzzled about were Alex's clothes. Because, and I have to say, I did not catch this initially. This was interesting for me. So the clothes that he wore on the night, but not his riding around in the truck ensemble, and not his work clothes. Hey, babe. I'm gonna put you up.
Hey.
Hey.
I just got a new phone. I'm using that, so hopefully
Okay.
it's okay. If it's
Avatar isn't showing. I don't know if you want it to or not.
what's showing?
Your avatar isn't showing. It's just
Oh,
blank. Just
it's
change
fine.
it and then change it back if you want to.
It's fine. It doesn't need to.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's your little logo. I like it. So, Kez Chick, member for 12 months. So, yes, they needed demonstrative. Yes, the charts would have been helpful. Hey, anaphylaxis. So, I was a little bit perplexed about his. I call it the interview in the cop car attire, the t-shirt and shorts and shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. So at first I was under the impression that what was on his shirt was blood. But then when they went
I was too. I thought it was blood
lunch,
too.
yeah, when they went to lunch, shout out to Annette Levy. And Jeanette Levy. Thank you so much, because I would have missed this if not for you, who pointed out it isn't blood. It is only referred to as DNA. We don't know what it was. So that was important.
I thought they said it was high velocity spatter on the shirt. Like that's what I thought they initially said. Like reporting on it. You know what I mean?
Yes, they were reporting, and then here comes the results of the actual. Yeah, she's one of your peeps, Rottweiler. So, okay, the PJs. You want to talk about the PJs?
Hey, LFT. So I was bothered by the fact they didn't test the other outfit. Did they not find it?
Which other outfit, babe? Now remember, he had a couple of outfit changes.
So the one where he's on Snapchat bending the tree or whatever, the blue shirt and the slacks.
According to Miss Blanca, those have not been recovered.
Oh, so they haven't even found the outfit.
The shirt.
Gotcha.
For sure. And I don't know anything about the pants. LFT, I was in LFT, well, the Decipher podcast. I was watching their live earlier and it was fantastic. Y'all please go over there and check that out. Not now, but after, the stream. But LFT, I'm dropping the link for you because I remember that you had questions and I just thought, why not have you up? I've been over to your casa, you come over to my casa. So here you go. All right. So, hey, Coast Reviews. All right. Where was I? Kate, what was I saying?
We were talking about how it was DNA.
Yes.
And not blood.
Which, again, this is where it's problematic for me personally. If it had been blood, I would have expected it because remember, he said he touched them. So blood should be there. And now we have scientific DNA evidences that say otherwise. It wasn't. We don't know what it was.
So he was perfectly clean. He didn't.
Correct.
In my opinion, I don't think he checked their pulses or anything because he didn't. I think he didn't, bother.
I don't think he got out of his car.
Yep.
But now this is a further conundrum for the defense. Okay. How is it that you don't have blood on your clothes, but you do have blood on the steering wheel? How'd that happen?
Oh, I didn't hear that. I must have missed that part. There was blood on the steering wheel. Whose blood? Did they?
Crap. I knew you were going to ask me that. And as soon as I thought about it, I was like, oh, crap. I forget whose it was.
Was it Paul or Maggie's though? Like one of them two?
Yes.
Okay.
His and Maggie's. There you go. Jessica. Thank goodness she came in the clutch. Yes, it's Paul
Paul,
and Maggie's.
both of their blood. Oh,
Yes.
that's huge. That's probably bigger than
Yes.
the phone call.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, the PJs. This is an interesting thing. What were Maggie's PJs doing there? She spent the previous night at Edisto.
Did she have like her wardrobe there though, or no?
I
Like,
mean, yes, she had clothes there,
okay,
but Blanca found her PJs and her chones together on the floor. And the thing of it is, and this is what Blanca said, which, you know, okay, we all know these things about the people that live in our house, right? It's
yeah,
just more, a little more intimate because Blanca doesn't live there, but you know, she does all the things for this family. So of
yeah.
course she knows these things, right? And it was uncomfortable for her. But
Mhm.
we learned that Maggie sleeps sans chones. So why were they together?
Yeah.
Why were they at all? Why were they there at all? Maggie didn't spend the night there the night before. She was at
Well,
Edisto.
I mean, if it is true that he lured them over there to lured her over there to go visit his dad or whatever, they said that he texted her and said maybe he was like, why don't you just stay here for the night and come with me to go see my dad or something like that.
No, he got her. He wanted her to come. Okay, he asked her to come over there during the day, meaning
Okay.
he texted her and invited her, lured whatever, tomato at this point,
Yeah.
over there during the day. So, and Blanca had already been to the house at what's the fuck? I'm drawing a blank. Why do I keep wanting to say, "Hey, LFT, is that you? Will you show me your pretty face real quick?" Oh, pretty girl. Let me see. Okay. All right, you can turn it off, babe, and I'll put you up. He had gotten her
Hey.
over there. Hey.
Hey.
All right, I'm listening. Sorry, keep going.
Okay, so he invited her. He asked her to come over there, but she Blanca had already been to the house. She left dinner for them, so her underwear and PJs would have been picked up because Blanca had been there that at the farm. What's the name of the freaking place?
Moselle.
Moselle.
Yeah.
So why would it be there? It shouldn't be there.
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't even. So, real quick, now, I did you see that screenshot going around? I don't even know where it came from, but saying
We lost you, babe.
Uh-oh.
I think I know what screenshot she's talking about, but now I don't remember everything that it says.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I tried to go out and look at it, but it's like a screenshot saying that Eddie's story. I don't know where it came from though, so take this with a grain of salt. But it's saying that Eddie's story is that Maggie was like having an affair with CB Rowe and that Paul found them and was angry, so he grabbed a gun and I guess maybe I forget what it said, maybe they scuffled or something and he took the gun and killed Paul and then
I think I read this last night. I read something exactly what you were talking about, falling
yeah,
asleep
like where
last
the hell
night.
did this come from?
Yes.
Okay, but let's say all that did happen. There were 2 guns. So where's the other gun?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I forget what I forget the other. It was more. Hold on, wait. I can pull it up on my computer. Because every time, for some reason, when I go out of
Yeah, you can't go out of StreamYard no matter what you do. Even if you just like hit the where you tile all your little windows that you have or
Yeah.
apps and whatnot, it's no, StreamYard wants to be the only. It's very possessive that way.
Yes,
It's kind of why I
very.
don't be liking the StreamYards. You're doing too much, StreamYard. Gage,
know.
stop emailing me about seminars and shit and fix some of these things that I've been saying on my lives repeatedly are problematic with your service.
Exactly.
And will you please add a share or present button if you're signed on an iPad or iPhone or phone? Because
Yeah.
that's
Sometimes
so
you can't get
annoying.
to your, sometimes you want to just go from your phone
Yes.
and you might want to present something.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
could you just add that?
just that.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to a seminar. I just need a button.
Right. I don't
the
need a whole
button.
ass webinar. No, thank you. And I don't want to invite people to a webinar. How
No.
am I going to be
No.
inviting people to webinars, Gage, when I can't even present in case I'm on my phone?
so I found it. I found the screenshot. Here it says.
Okay.
Well,
You want to share your screen, babe?
I don't know. I don't think I'm on my phone, so I don't know.
Oh.
If I can.
Oh,
Hold on. I'll just read it. It
okay,
has
just
a
read
picture
it.
of it has a picture of CB Rowe, right? Like a little circle, avatar picture, like StreamYard have. And then it says Claude, quote unquote, CB Rowe, the groundkeeper, and unidentified DNA. Rowe received a BS in chemistry and environmental science from Charleston Southern and was a chemistry teacher at Thomas Hayward Academy in Ridgeland. He was fired in 2010 for having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Rowe was arrested in 2010 and charged with SEXUAL. Almost spelling it almost sounds like saying it.
It's
battery in Jasper County. Like as I spelled it out, it sounded like I was saying the word. But anyway, battery of a student in Jasper County. He pled guilty in Jasper County Circuit Court on March 17, 2011, and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. But the sentence was suspended to 5 years probation by Judge Carmen Mullen. And then it has an avatar of Cousin Eddie, and it says his version of the murders. Cousin Eddie told police that Maggie Murdaugh was having an affair with the groundskeeper when Paul caught the two of them in an intimate moment. Paul went down into one of the barns and caught him, and he got upset and went and got his rifle and was hollering and screaming. Smith told investigators during his polygraph his mama was running and she fell down and she got up and he shot her in the booty and the bullet come out the top of her head. In Smiths recounting, the groundskeeper grabbed a shotgun during the altercation between Paul and his mother and shot Paul after he turned on the groundskeeper. In Smiths, the groundskeeper grabbed a shotgun and shot Paul after, I guess, Paul turned on the groundskeeper. Police never proved or disproved Cousin Eddie's theory of the murders and did not investigate this version of events further. Maggie had unidentified. Didn't they talk about this today? But I couldn't listen to the part. So
Yes.
That was my question actually to both of you all. I was about to be like, Kate, can I ask a question real fast before she gets that answer?
Yeah. Go for it.
Because I thought, did they say CB Rowe today? Did I hear that, or am I making that up? That it was a mix of, was his DNA on?
I thought they said it was like an unidentified male, and that CB Rowe couldn't be.
He couldn't be. Okay.
He couldn't be excluded, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was him. I thought that's what they said, but I could be totally wrong because I was kind of like in the middle of doing things when I heard it. So
okay, it is kind of exactly what you guys said.
Okay.
So essentially, he can't be excluded, but there are not enough alleles to definitively say it was him. Not only that, but the problem is that Maggie had her nails done that day. And so she could have gotten unidentified and DNA up underneath, even though we like to think that they do a good job and they scrub them and stuff. The fact of the matter is they're touching you and they're touching the equipment and they're touching other people. And it's that kind of stuff gets shared. It is what it is. So they can't conclusively say it was him, which is what when they say he can't be ruled out, but they can't say it was him. It does match, but it's not a significant enough of a match to say it was him. Sort of like mitochondrial DNA, where it comes from the mother, but it's not specific to one person. It's not enough. It's that kind of DNA isn't enough to say that 99.99999% of the population can be excluded as being the contributor. Because really, that's what DNA is. It doesn't actually say who it is. It just says that 99.9999999% of the rest of the whole ass world cannot be included. Therefore, you are. You know what I mean? So, I think that with that, I think it's a red herring, but I think that it had to be addressed. I think it had to be brought up, because if it hadn't have been brought up by the state and explained correctly, the defense would have taken advantage of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
She did, Lori. She had a mani and a pedi that day. And I remember this specifically because because the Miss Zapata talked about it, and she was asked about it repeatedly, and even when on cross he started to ask her the question, the way that he phrased it was kind of wonky, and so the female prosecutors objected. And then hey Tia, oh, I see your pretty face.
Hi.
Okay, I'll put you up. Do you want me to leave your okay?
Hey, Tia. Hey, criminality. Sorry, I just looked at chat. I have my phone, so I can't see it.
Yeah, they're all here. The gang's all here. Criminality said she'd be up if we're still on after she's done cooking dinner. See, her family
good.
likes to eat expects dinner every night too, just like mine. So annoying.
By the way, I think that's ridiculous. And you people need to marry people and have families that expect much less, like mine does.
I need the bar to be lowered. Listen, I have had that bar rate high for my whole time being a mom and wife. 27, almost 28 years. April 23rd will be 28 years.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, since I was 18 years old.
My God. I can't even imagine.
Neither can I. And I'm doing it. No, just kidding.
Well, you're doing it well. You're doing it very well.
So, yeah, that bar has been raised, and at this point, it's like I've already gotten my report card. I've aced the final. I've testified in court as qualified as a fucking witness, expert witness. Like, can somebody else do it now? My hubs is good. He does. There's some stuff that he cooks, that I don't have to. So it's good that way.
My husband does all the damn cooking. It's amazing. I love it. I'm not going to lie.
Well, the girls know.
Sundays are his day where he just turns on sports and cooks like 3 different meats and just goes ham. It's awesome. Oh, God, yeah. Done for the week. Oh, yeah.
I like that criminality. It really is annoying.
It is.
Yeah, I can hear her right now. You know what? Like it really is annoying. I love barbecue.
A lot of people don't know that about DNA, Kez Chick. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. I sidetrack everybody else with meals, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to be back on task, and then I'm distracting again. Like I can't get it right. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't either until I had a DNA test done, and now I understand them much better. They exclude everybody else in the whole ass world. They don't actually include anybody.
Yeah, so I learned a lot about that with the Murdaugh case. I mean, not Murdaugh, the what's it called case, the Morphew case, where they made a big deal out of the DNA in the car.
Like that's the results. The results are, like say it was me. All right, it would say, Jen Lou cannot be excluded from the 99.99999% of the population as a contributor to this DNA source. It doesn't say this is Jen Lou's DNA. It says I can't be excluded. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes much more sense to me as to how the verbiage is
I
Right.
guess
when
it'd be
they
like a
say,
not a partial. It's not really a partial match, but it's like a partial something, like a partial. I forget the word.
"Oh
for it.
Jesus, hold on, you guys! There's an active shooter
What?
at Michigan
Oh.
State."
Oh God. Where at?
Oh my
Is
God,
it
I got
being
family.
streamed
Hold on,
anywhere? Okay.
B-
All right.
BRB.
All right.
Okay.
Ugh,
Um,
that's it.
Oh no.
Come on. What is
What
this
is
world
up with
coming
this
to?
crap that people shoot? I hate this stuff.
This
It's
is
like,
why the aliens don't come for us, you guys, because
I
we don't
know.
fucking know how to act.
they've probably flown over us more times than we even realized, and we're like, not stopping there.
Yeah. What are our
Okay, you
own
guys,
problems?
just to let you know, there's an active shooter at Michigan State, and there's a shelter in place. If you have family, friends, or are close by to Lansing, keep them in your prayers.
Oh God.
Mother, I'm gonna
Flipper.
lose my shitballs tonight. I swear to God. We do have family. That's where I'm from.
Oh, bless your heart, Tia.
So everyone just
Well,
sorry. I didn't mean to side rail that,
no,
but I just
babe, you didn't. No, it's important.
Brian
People
Enton just
know
did a
this.
thing, and I just
Oh my god.
Well,
Do you guys want to turn it on? Should we watch that instead of
No.
this, or do we not want to know?
no.
What should we do?
Actually, let's continue.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in Michigan in October. I think
Where are you going?
I'm going to a wedding in like hold on, let me see. Something with
She's
an A.
like-
Tell me.
It's near Ohio, like 2 hours from Ohio. Hold on, let me see.
All right. I might be able to give you some fun things to do while you're there.
Alan,
she can tell you how to get to Canada.
Oh, shut up. All right, so the biggest joke is is where?
Allen, Michigan.
Okay. We used to go drinking in Canada because the drinking age was only 19, and to get to Windsor was 40 minutes. So you just go through the tunnel, and it's no big deal. Since then, we've done it. I mean, international drinking is a thing. LFT blows her mind at this.
My cousin used to do that too. He went to what the heck, the college in Canada, Niagara.
Yeah.
And he would be like all excited because he could drink up there.
Oh yeah, international drinking's a thing. It's a total thing.
Maybe
Not so much anymore because
maybe I just grew up rough. I don't know what the deal is, but like I always had somebody around that was over 21.
That too.
I never had to worry about like international drinking or anything. I just drank when I wanted to drink.
well, it's fun until you take your cousin out on a drinking spree and decide to go to Ohio the next day, and she declares her citizenship at the Ohio border. That's embarrassing.
Oh.
That's a moment where you're like, no, dude, you're drunk. Go back to sleep. You've just declared your citizenship in Ohio.
Yikes. Yikes on bun.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sidetrack.
No, babe, you are really you're talking to me about sidetracking the most sidetrackingest bitch this side of Canada.
This side of Canada. See, that's what frightens me. First of all, I didn't think like how close Canada truly was to our northern states, and then I was like, how do I know someone that is that close? And this now actually explains part of the accent, like certain things that like after and I was like, now I get it. But I was like, shut up. Like when she said we run over to Canada, and I was like, that sounds so exhausting. Like that's the longest
nice.
trip.
It was so nice and clean and fun.
Designing my life. Good to see you, babe. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. But I was actually going to ask one question. Like, y'all may have already said this, and I'm just curious. So I still have some catching up to do in terms of every detail from today. But for those who watched it, is there like, before you tell me anything about it, like, is there one thing that stands out to you in terms of like jackpot or like that's clutch? Anything that's like, I mean,
are you talking about
defense or
the Murdaugh? The Murdaugh?
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
like anything. Just that was like,
I don't know about
dang.
like Jackpot, but when they talked about when the lady, what was it, the medical examiner or something like that.
Hmm.
The medical examiner got
That
to
was
me.
big. That like apparently Paul's DNA was on the shotgun shell, so
Okay.
he loaded the gun at some point, I guess, because all the shells they found had Paul's DNA on them. I believe that's what they said. And then
Okay.
uh what was the then they said that after Maggie was shot, the person like circled her, like standing over her, and
Hmm.
then
Came back
shot her again.
around and hit her
Yep.
and shot her again. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Hey, BR the
Okay.
star. LFT and
Mhm.
Tia. I don't know if you guys are okay with this. If not, fix it. But your avatars aren't showing on YouTube for whatever reason. So all you got to do
Oh.
is just go where your settings are at. Where the
Hmm.
camera and stuff's at.
Hmm.
Change it and then change it right back, and it'll pop up.
Okay. More settings. Settings. Hold on.
Settings. No, you had it
Setting.
right. Settings.
Settings. And now I'm scared to click it. All right.
Just click it. You'll be all right. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing. I promise it'll be fine.
Okay, wait. Where did it go?
It should be where your camera settings are. It'll say
Mm.
like oh crap, like camera avatar or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it says. Hold on, I'll tell you.
See, it's funny. On my phone, I see us, the only one on my phone is Kate doesn't have one. But then when I look at the iPad, you're right. You're the only one that has one.
It's
I see
weird.
your avatars. I
Yeah,
see them.
because on some StreamYard does that. It's a mess. It's a mistake.
Oh.
Oh, bless it. Okay, thank you, Aries. Aries, is it Aries or Aries? I'm not going to say it. Bless it. Can you write it in the chat phonetically? Thank you.
Five fatalities, 11 injured.
Mm.
The SWAT team's on the way. Checking with my kids. I have kids who go there. Who's on the ground lockdown? Okay.
Aw.
4 shots. He's on the run. Third floor dorm. Yeah, it's.
So sad.
What? You're getting the play-by-play.
Again, this is why the aliens don't take us in their cool spaceships and have cool space parties with us, because some of us on this planet don't
Because
know
we
how to
suck.
act.
My mom graduated from MSU, so I'm a U of M girl, but my heart goes out to. We have cousins,
Yeah.
young kids that are. Hold on, I'm just getting another update.
Okay.
Okay. So far, we're getting updates from the college itself that 5 fatalities, or maybe 2 with long guns. They definitely know of 1, but they think that might be 2. Okay. Jesus.
Wait, shooters?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way.
I will say this, Vincent. I think that
Emmy is weirdly cheerful.
she's a teacher.
She.
So, okay, like when growing up, my mom, as a histologist, worked for the county hospital. So, the county hospital is a teaching hospital in Tarrant County. And so, like, whenever that's where I had all of my kids. And so, all of the doctors are somewhat like that because they're teaching. So whenever you ask a question, like when I was having my amniocentesis, all the doctors and the nursing staff were all just, real upbeat and just answering I had a giant ass needle in my belly, and they were answering every single question that I had as if I didn't have a giant ass needle in my belly. You know what I mean? And I think that's why. I think because she is.
They go into teaching mode, I think she did a
Yes.
really good job.
I thought
breaking
she
it
did an
down, though,
amazing job
yeah.
explaining it all.
Yep. I was
Especially
so
to a
intrigued.
jury.
Yes.
Especially to. Yeah.
She's engaging. And you know what else is pretty cool is when you love what you do, and you know what, you have to love what you do when you're that kind of a when you have that kind of a job. Funeral directors, people like that, they
Mm-hmm.
got to love what they do. They get excited and they're passionate. I appreciate that. I really do. I really
Mhm.
appreciate and respect her passion for her business.
Yeah. And the thing is, so sometimes when you have somebody who has an incredible, and this woman has an incredible amount of knowledge, they
Mhm.
aren't always great at taking that knowledge and making it and speaking in a way that people who have no medical or very little medical knowledge can understand. I thought
Mhm.
she was a fantastic at giving a testimony and explaining all of the intricate details in a way that makes sense. Like when she was explaining um, some of the more graphic parts about the fact that she was likely hit in the stomach first, in the abdomen first, and doubled over, and that um, this is why she had the injuries to her wrists, and just really broke it down.
Mhm.
I thought she did a fantastic job. I really do.
Criminality says she thought she came off
I
uncaring in a mess.
know.
This is why I live for Teresa, and I need to hear what her
I
thoughts are.
know. You need to hurry up and make dinner.
Get
Yeah.
cereal and milk. Come on, girl.
Turn that shit up on
Actually,
high
I
and walk
think
away.
I said that. Didn't we say? Tia, did I say that on a live or to you? Because I was like, actually talking to criminality right now, especially about this case. Like she makes me think like I need to be thinking again. Like she's like, I don't think
Well,
it's quite got it yet. And remember, it could be this. And
yes,
I'm like,
but that's
damn
why
you.
I
I was
like
like, but no, I
criminality
love
and
it.
Jen Luke together because
Hmm.
they don't always agree. So I get
We
to hear
we
both
usually
sides.
That's true. But Teresa, it's weird because Teresa's usually on the other side. So normally it's Teresa who knows all the things about a trial that I'm covering, where I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna be just like straight like a juror. I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna give you the play by play as if I were the 13th juror, except for, I'm allowed to talk, right?
Hmm.
And but in the Murdaugh case, it's 100, it's the opposite. And both she and I we recognize it every time we have a conversation. And it's weird, but it's fun at the same time. It's never been like this for us. This is a new twist in our little YouTube friendship.
Hmm.
But it's
I
good
like it. I
because
like
It's
it.
great for those of us learning, you know what I mean, and observing.
Mhm.
It's great to see um, not be in a vacuum, you know what I mean,
Right.
and can you
Yeah.
really learn from both sides and go, oh, I agree with what Jen Lewis. Oh, but hold on. Teresa
Yes.
comes in with that side, and you're like,
I
Right.
well,
will
And
now.
agree though when she was talking about Paul's like, head.
Yeah.
It
Paul,
was
I
I
did
was
miss
a little bit
Paul's.
like like how she was describing it. It was a little like it was a little much. Like she
Yeah,
was
see,
talking
now I
about
didn't get to hear I
how
didn't hear her testimony with Paul.
yeah, I think like her describing Paul was like because she was talking about how the back of his head was basically like like non-existent, but how his face was saved, and
Yes.
like she went in like very great detail, but it was like a little bit. It wasn't
It
in
was
a
so
caring
maybe
way.
it was so much that it was a little off-putting.
Yeah, it was definitely off-putting.
Okay.
Okay,
See,
Kate,
for
did she
me,
say?
go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry, Jinlu. I
No, no, babe,
apologize.
go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask since I've only listened to a very short portion
I
of
can
the
play
Paul
it. Do
part.
you guys want me to play it?
Sure.
Should we play it?
Sure, safety in
All
numbers to
right.
watch it. I'm all about that. But I just didn't. I was going to ask Kate if they said anything about the distance in terms of they are
Paul,
thinking based on the autopsy.
it was like 2-3 feet away from Paul.
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3. Okay, just
Yeah,
And
clarification.
he was
and
about two.
same with
Whoever it was close. Whoever shot him was very close to him. Like And
Okay.
she said he turned his head as to like look back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry.
And
I was coughing and forgot to mute.
I do that all the time.
well, yeah, she said something about he like turned his head to look back, so I guess that's how like the angle it was, and that he was whoever they were really close, and that he fell and had a scratch on his face from like him falling face
Mm-hmm.
first.
Because it was kind of like he's walking out of the feed room, and then so I kind of envisioned him as if I was walking out of that room, like my left side would be kind of going down, like kind of as I'm approaching the door, the left side's going down, and then
It does make
he
me
just
confused though, like wondering if maybe uh there was guns hidden behind the thing, like because there's a door in the back of the kennel, so I'm guessing they were in the back, but and then maybe after they shot Paul, Maggie went running towards Paul because the way she was laying in that picture looked like she was running like towards the front. You know what I mean? Like I thought she was
Mhm.
the other way because I seen that diagram, but
Like,
now I think
so you
she
see the
was running.
picture.
Yeah, from the picture, she looks like she was running towards the front, maybe to run towards Paul, like
Mm-hmm.
in a panic, because I don't know, but
When I realized that she had taken as many shots to the front as she had,
Mm-hmm.
and literally I just listened to that portion with Tia like 45 minutes ago.
Which,
But it did make me think that whoever kind of, I hate to say that, whoever unalived Paul then kind of just swings around to the right, or
and
like
gets
right,
her,
which
and then
means
she
and
that
then
turns and runs.
uh-huh.
which means that they likely had both guns in range. You know what I mean? And not in
Yeah,
what
Mm-hmm.
range is not right at ready to go. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
they had
In
to
each,
have, or a
that's what
second
I'm trying to
person,
say.
but
Or a second person. See, this could be a little problematic for the defense, or for the state. Although I think that the not really, because to be fair, even if because this happens, there are times when there are two defendants and they're tried separately, and they may or may not bring up the other defendant, at the like they're both being tried. One of them obviously is going to go first, right? If they're tried separately. So they don't, sometimes they bring up the second defendant, and sometimes they don't. And at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it does, as long as the state proves that Murdaugh pulled a gun, pulled one trigger, they can find him not guilty of Maggie, but find him guilty of Paul. Either way, and that's life without possibility of parole right there. They don't actually have to convict him of both. They can, if they feel like they feel that there was a second shooter, but they feel
Mm-hmm.
like he's the one who shot one of them or the other, you know what I mean? They can find him guilty on that count and not the other person's count, and he still goes away for life without possibility of parole.
I just
Okay.
have a hard time thinking whoever this was, like the more I hear, like whoever this was would have been able to like one gun and then boom next gun, unless they had them both like wrapped around them, just ready to like drop the one and pick up the other. Or maybe he had a shotgun in his hand and he had like the rifle like slung
Mm-hmm.
over him or something. Because that's the only thing I can really think of. Like,
See, MK is teaching me today.
Me too. I was just reading what he had
Yeah.
written too.
Not to be graphic, but hit with a at close range
Mm-hmm.
is capable of spinning. I believe that. I believe that totally. It's been my learning today. Oh, gauge has a fair amount of recoil. Just can't handle it in your hand. Really? Okay. All right. Vincent's missing ear coming in with more information.
Okay.
Damn. These people. Hey, look through the second next to I don't. Oh, I have to go back and watch her complete testimony today, but like I said, I caught bits and pieces. Her excitement is slightly alarming, I'm not going to lie, but it was also, I appreciate her passion for her job. Like I said, I appreciate
Right.
anybody.
I almost
Well,
wonder if kind of being educational or like, she seemed very, has a jovial or just a very perky personality, I guess, from what I saw. I wonder if a part of that is to help take away from like the impact, like not trying to she's talking about something that's horrible, but if she can make it like elementary in terms of educational and it kind of take like maybe I don't know. I didn't know if it was in a way to save the gallery from having
Like to tell the story without making like getting everyone all emotional. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The thing is, the
but
thing
it did
is,
cause people. He had to stop a little break. I think it caused some of the jurors to definitely be
well,
emotional because after they talked
those
about Paul.
those pictures were pretty awful
Yeah.
from what I heard, and they're going to be sealed. And they took every. Thank you. I got your email, Tia. Oh my
Mhm.
God. I they're going to seal them and all that stuff. But I'll say this. So, being that my mom was a histologist, I worked with pathologists. They can perform autopsies, and I will never forget when I walked into the gross room, and there is a literal breast on a cold plate, and Dr. Branch was explaining to me all of the things, what she was looking for, and it's a boob. And the way she was explaining it to me, it put me at ease because it took my mind off the fact that somebody's boob was on a cold plate. You know what I mean? And I was more I was not grossed out by the fact that it was a body part. And I was more fascinated by what she was telling me, what I was learning about what boobs are made up of. You know what I mean? And when they're looking for like breast cancer, what they're looking for and why they take the entire, it was just fascinating. But I think it takes a certain type of personality to be
Mhm.
fascinated by that. And so here I can be talking impassionately about a breast on a cold plate, but the reality is it was removed because it was cancerous and a woman lost her breast. So I can appreciate both parts of it. You know what I mean? And I think that the unfortunate part when you're testifying like that is you don't have an opportunity the way I do to explain something and then also put the human element in where you recognize that this was somebody's loved one, that you're really describing something very brutal that occurred. They don't get to do that because it's not part of you know what, they're not allowed to do that. It's not
Well, I think you're
part of
taking the
it.
human body and you're making it like and I get exactly what you're saying. Just making it sciency makes it
Hmm.
less painful for me. God, I don't even know if
Yeah,
that sentence
I
makes
know
sense, but
what you mean.
my husband had double bypass. They literally take your heart out and they set it on the table next to you. And I'm like, but,
Hmm.
hmm, hmm.
Hmm.
So many questions I had for said surgeon.
Of course, who wouldn't have questions? I would have a ton.
I was like, but what do you do? First of all, I wasn't convinced he had a heart. So I thought maybe they should do some
Oh my
exploratory
God.
surgery. I thought exploratory surgery should have been my first thing. Turns out, not only does he have one, it's large and in charge and lovely. But when I found out the science factor of it, I was much more engaged. I understood that the pain of everything kind of went away for me, even though he was going to be in excruciating pain. It was like I understood more of what was happening when you take the human body and turn it into science. For me, I get it. I get it. So that I appreciate what you were saying there, Dan.
Yeah. Our bodies are freaking fascinating. The shit that we can do that we don't even know we're doing and we have zero control over is amazing and phenomenal to me. However, um, like when I had my C-sections. Not the first one, because that was a very traumatic. I had preeclampsia. That was a whole deal. But the after ones, the subsequent ones, I begged them, please let me see. Please, please, please wheel that. I see the mirror. Wheel it around this way. And my husband was like, you don't want to see. Yes, I do. And I'll say this. With my last baby, the way that the OR was set up, there was one of those instrument holder thingies that has the glass doors. And I saw the reflection and I was fascinated. Did you know your insides are gray?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Yep.
I had no idea.
I know now. Mine are. And they didn't seem, and I'm assuming that's normal because nobody seemed alarmed by it, and they weren't.
Well, here
doing
you are
anything
today.
about it.
Here you are today.
I'm fine. But
I would have not
insides are
guessed
gray.
that. When they pulled the big mirror in, they're like, "Do you want to watch?" I was like, "No, what's on HBO?" Like, no.
No, see me, I would have been like, "Can I
need to
help?"
see what's going on down there. That's not your job, is it? What am I paying you for?
Those are my two passions: medicine and the law. Both, love them both equally.
And you're so great at both. That's the best part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God.
I've been lucky.
Alex should have said he could tell they were dead, and being a lawyer, he knew not to touch them to disturb the crime scene. I can't get over when he kept asking if are they sure? Is it confirmed?
Yes.
I had something rubbed me so wrong about that. To say confirmed, is it
Right.
confirmed?
Which is a very cold and what's the word?
But like nonchalant, like
no,
emotionless,
it's more like it'd be
checking off a
something that,
to-do list.
well, like something that a police officer or a first responder would ask. Is it do we have confirmed unalive? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more, it's
yeah.
What is the word that I'm trying to, it'll come to me later. It's not important. If I focus on it, it'll never come. But
yeah, no, the cop is lying about your family.
It's all a joke. Here comes Ashton Kutcher.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
I still, that blows my mind.
Make it as a cop, because that's the kind of shit that would probably accidentally fly on purpose out of my mouth. No, it's a fucking joke. What the?
Yeah.
Didn't you say you checked their pulses?
Yeah.
That was my first full stop when I was like, wait a minute. He just said he touched them. He turned them over. He's done this, that, and the other. And now we're like, are they dead? Are they dead? What? What do you mean? What? What do you mean, sir? I just don't understand.
The confirm really, like, to even ask like twice, and then lifting your shirt because you're wiping the sweat and tears and who knows what. You're not, sir. There's nothing on your shirt when you do it. Like, you're not.
Oh my God.
There's no liquid. There's no. Oh.
He lifted that shirt like it was Mardi Gras. Put that thing down and stop. It was ugh. All of it. It was all of it.
Nobody needed it. No, nobody wanted to see that. It's clinical. He was talking. He was cold and clinical about it. Is it confirmed? That's the word I was looking for. Clinical. I couldn't think of the word, but
it was very almost like he was almost like his own attorney at that point.
Correct.
To a degree, it was like that mode stepped up. Like, yeah.
It was completely detached. It was very odd. And the fact of the matter is, I have to go back up because this I want to, there's a comment that I wanted to, okay. Corky says, Alex should have said he could tell they were dead, and being a lawyer, he knew not to touch them to disturb the crime scene. That would explain his lack of blood, except for the fact that he did say he touched them. That's the problem. Am I reading that right?
No,
yes.
That's the, I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
And
that's that was the issue, Corky, is that this is why we're shocked that there isn't any blood. If he had said, oh, that's weird. Kate, come in on your
We need
on your
Kate.
laptop.
I figured out the avatar thing though, by the way, from the phone.
Yes, you did, but Tia hasn't. I don't think she cares.
Oh, I'm on my computer. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Actually-
I don't care if your avatar isn't up there. It's just that your avatar.
I'm
is
naked.
pretty.
You're naked.
I'm naked.
Oh, that's Corky's point. She's agreeing with me. I'm
Okay.
sorry. So hard
Now,
in the texts.
so the blood on the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Again, y'all are filling me in because I was in and out today, so I have not done as much research on today's. It was consistent with Maggie and or Paul's.
No. Maggie and Alex. There was
Get out
two
of town.
sources.
That's the one with okay. Wait. Well, why he said he touched Paul. He didn't say he touched Maggie.
Actually, I believe he said he touched both of them.
Oh, he did.
I thought he
He
said he
did say.
touched both.
But the one that he touched the most was Paul, because he tried to turn Paul over, and remember his phone popped out and he was going to try to do something with. Let me see if I can nail his voice. And I was going to try to do something with him, but I thought better not.
He sounds like Porky Pig if someone's pulling Porky Pig's tail. Like it's like kind of a squeak, but not. It's like you pull him tight
and
and
wheeze.
he,
There's a wheeze there too that I can't quite
Mhm.
nail, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like a
Yeah, it's
yeah.
So
And
gross.
And then he.
does
I'm
anyone
sorry.
else
I'm
find the
sorry.
opening
I'm
of the-
sorry.
Why are you apologizing? I mean, I apologize a lot. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry. I don't mean to apologize a lot. I'm really sorry, but I do. But to a cop, when my wife and my kid are right there, I'm mother trucking everyone. Sorry about anything. And I want to know who's doing what to who and when and where and how and why we're not running. And I don't care who's dead. I still want to know why you're not running, because we are not apologizing for I just didn't understand. Like, I'm polite.
I'll say this. So I'm not very comfortable crying in front of anybody, really. Anybody. It's not I don't like to do it. I avoid it. And the thing is, I feel empathy for other people. I'm not a psychopath or a sociopath. But when other people cry, it makes me equally uncomfortable and I don't know what to do. So I always assume if I'm crying that I'm making other people uncomfortable, and I inevitably apologize. Like I apologized a couple of times, even though I tried to keep it in. I did not want anybody to see me cry at my mom's funeral, mostly because my kids were there and I didn't want them to be worried. But there were a couple of times when I had a moment and in front of my sister, and I'm apologizing to my sister because I will say, for Alex's part, could that have been part of it? It might have been. That and the Capri Suns are really the only thing that I can identify with. And this is also interesting. Did you read Jessicat's comment? Wait, is she trying to say something was there? Something was there was absolutely no DNA on Paul's phone. Shouldn't there have been Paul's? You would think, if nothing else, touch DNA.
Or why weren't if Alex admits that he touched his phone?
Correct. Even Alex should have been there. Touch DNA. He admitted that he picked it up, thought he was going to do something with it, and then
and then wouldn't even like a smear or something, of even like there has to. This is where I think this is my fear, is where he's gonna, the defense, if prosecution, if they can't get around the way SLED or law enforcement handled this and processed things, that's my fear right there. This is how he'll get.
Well, that's Kate's got it.
He did. He writes it down.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm 5, 6, 7,
Also,
8.
can we address K-Braze on why confused on whether the hazard lights were flashing, but scared enough to go grab a gun? This was interesting to me as well. I'm not going to lie. LFT and I were talking about this today.
Mm-hmm.
I assume, which we know what that is, but I assume that he had his hazards on to help find where he was. Now, here's my issue with that. The way the police came in, like, he didn't have his headlights on the situation, which I totally would have done. I'm not going to lie. Even in a state of panic, I probably would have put my headlights on the victims so that it would be easy for the police to come in and see. Because the way they came in, they could have easily, I don't want to say any more than that, but just they could have hit something that they weren't supposed to.
Right.
So that's why I was like, okay, maybe he's got the hazards on so that they could find him. But that is an interesting question. What are your thoughts on that, Jen Lou?
Well, I think he had his hazards on. Like, I don't think they were on initially, and frankly, they didn't help because bless Officer Green's cute little heart. He turned down the wrong driveway, and he was somewhere else. He was down the road a bit. He wasn't at the actual scene yet. He had to make a U-turn, I think it was, and come back. He turned wrong. God love him. But bless his heart for capturing every lying liar face moment from jump on his body cam. You are a good noodle. Now, Detective Green. And you're not bad to look at. Anyway, it's not the point, and it wasn't even the fucking question. Objection, Yana. I think that I'm really stumped about a lot of things that Alec did, and the lack of, there's something off about this timeline. Now, what I will say is this. Alec, I can't say where Alec was, but I can say where his phone was. And that we do know that, right? We know what his phone was doing. And some of the phone calls that he said he made are backed up. Wilson,
Randy.
Chris Wilson, and Randy. Well, we haven't heard Randy testify yet, but Chris Wilson has testified and did say that he called him. So that's verified. But there are other elements of this crime scene that I think the defense would like for us to pretend that, Kate, can I see your pretty face, please? That the defense would like for us to think was sled mishandling the crime scene. But I actually think that it might be something else going on there. Like he had help.
Oh. Christy Barber and both Angela said that the 911 operator told him to turn the flashers on.
She did. She said, turn them on so that way we can know where you're coming from. Because this was like right after she asked him, now, is that a trailer or a house? It's a house. He got all uppity about the house.
Yeah. I gotcha. Thank you both of you for
I had to go back through and think through the Satterfield 911 call and then Alex 911 call. The initial, like, because remember they asked them to, like, and I was like, wait, was that here? Is there a gate or something they have to open? And they were was actually Satterfield's, not Alex's call.
I'll say this.
Well, I think that's where I got confused too. So thank you.
Satterfields, I do want to go over before I forget. Not tonight, but at some point. I did not realize on Friday, and well, I knew today, but on Friday, the Satterfield's attorney was on. And guess who else's attorney was on Friday on Law and Crime?
Do tell.
Cooks.
Yup, Cousin Eddie's.
Oh, Cousin Eddie's.
She doesn't even know if he's gonna testify.
That's what I heard too.
He's not sure if he's going to be called up or not or whatever, but
exactly. And I didn't realize that Alec is still on the hook for the roadside situation.
That's he's big time on the hook.
See, I didn't know that I didn't know what was going. I didn't know this It's too much for me, LFT. My
That
compartment
blew.
is too full
That was the
up.
first thing I told Tia this morning. The first thing I think I said to her, I was like, "You have to read the indictment of like in terms of the
Yeah.
September 4th and what that
All
led
right.
to." And that is, I am blown away.
I'm
Like,
going to
Okay.
have to read it because I had thought about, okay, so I had a
ugh,
couple of ideas. So, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, right? And what is I do have a ton, not a ton, like 5 maybe, like whatever happened to that are like bad love stories. Like I have the Broderick's and the Texas cadet triangle,
Mhm.
and I have a few of them. But I was thinking to myself, I said, self, hello, the Murdaughs. This is a messed up love story, right? So I thought about maybe just to have a little break and a levity, taking all like some of the testimony and Alex like body cam and all that, and maybe doing a little bit of a roast on old Alec and his various
Oh, that would
statements.
be great.
Oh,
You guys
raise
down for that? A
your
little
hand.
roast?
We need
Huh?
that. We need a Jen Lou
Yeah.
roast
Down
for
for a little
sure.
yeah.
roast? Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow
Oh,
night.
I'm
But
so down
then
for that.
my other side of my brain was like, you need to look into cousin Eddie. You need to, if you're going to put a
Oh
thing out
my.
about Stephen Smith and
Mm-hmm.
cousin Eddie finna testify, maybe not, but he's been talked about a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something. Jen put something out and talk, have like a stream that's just devoted to cousin Eddie. Cause I it's hard. It's a lot. It's
It,
convoluted and if he's gonna, if we could like, cousin Eddie, could you put off your testifying till like Thursday? I can do a whole thing about you on Wednesday because Tuesday's Valentine's Day, Times Day. But I can, if you can just not testify till Thursday, Wednesday night, I can do a whole episode on you.
Oh, that's so exciting.
please do it. And
Yeah,
it's
that would be.
it's 7 pages. Y'all read that, and the drug in terms of trafficking and
Mm.
misconduct, the fraud, the money laundering, forging stuff. That and not just the forge and all the other checks that he BS'd, but in relation to his like checks that were done in relation to between him and
Eddie?
Curtis Smith. Oh
Wait,
yeah,
in the indictment it
it's
says all that stuff? Can you send it to me?
yes, yes. I
Okay,
was
so you
like,
guys,
get
do
out
you
of town.
hear the excitement in her voice? Do you hear this?
Yes, because cousin Eddie, listen, like
This is what I wake up to, and I'm like, you
cousin,
need to breathe.
perhaps. Wait,
I,
I'm gonna give you my phone, LFT. You can call me all excited
God,
and out of breath like this because I will be right there with you, coffee and 5-hour in hand,
yes,
ready to go.
so excited. I'm telling you, she's had this case, and she's been amazing, 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 amazing. I'm so glad.
um, I just didn't.
That's what I want to see too. Is this new OnStar stuff, or OnStar stuff from GM? Mm-hmm.
Quirky shit.
And all I can think of every time they refer to him as cousin Eddie is cousin
Christmas
Eddie.
vacation.
Well,
See, I get
all the vacations,
yeah. I, what did he say? He was like when he walks. I just see him in that bathrobe, and then the moose like coffee mug cup thing that he was drinking out of, and that
My favorite is when he buys this, when he gives Clark shoes just like his. But that's on that's on National Lampoon's Vacation when they leave.
oh,
He gives him
love.
shoes just like Clark's, or just like Eddie gives Clark shoes, and it's my favorite. Or when they make the hamburger helper without the hamburger.
Oh my
The
god.
helper is just fine.
Tia Dash, will you send Kate it? Well, I can't. I'm on my phone, so but I want to send the and to Jen Lou the y'all these are the like the 6 or 7 indictments that just go with that tie Alec and Eddie together in their unlawful, I think, quote unquote, unlawful activities with other unlawful community members. It's ridiculous, but it's
Oh, sweet
only like
Jesus.
7 pages.
I
And
have a clip of Prince Andrew saying I can't, and I keep saying I've got to upload it. I've got to upload it to the StreamYard. I've got to upload it to the stream, because sometimes, honestly, when I hear some of this stuff, I'm like, I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
I
4 times a year. That's
I
how
just
many
Well, it's
times he
interesting
was at
because I
Epstein's
don't
getting
sweat.
massages.
It's
I
interesting
don't
because
sweat.
I don't sweat. I
Apparently,
don't have sweat glands.
Well, see, that's my traveling attire. You see, I would never wear that. You see, I'm at a
Mhm.
party. That's my traveling attire. Get the fuck out of
Mm.
here, Prince Andrew.
I didn't sweat for those 4 years. You're like,
Correct.
what?
Yeah,
I bet you
right.
sweating now, though, Joker.
Mhm.
Well,
I
you know
don't.
that he was all full of Botox that day he did that interview. I don't want to. I swear to God, if I see one drop of sweat, you're all going to hang. You know, uppity.
Mhm.
Ugh,
Ew.
All
gross.
right, I have the indictment. I'm getting ready to email it to
Ooh, I can't
all of our friends.
wait.
I need y'all to look at this and tell me I'm not crazy. But this is like a whole nother
Water.
element that they are doing a dang good job of not addressing. Like,
Okay, I'm not qualified to diagnose or not diagnose. I can't tell you if you're crazy or not, because I might be crazy. Well, we'll just be crazy together.
I was gonna say,
well, I
I'll
just
tell
know
you if you're
Tia,
crazy. I just don't know
Tia
if I'm
just
right
goes,
about it.
oh, yeah. Tia goes, oh, it's going to be one of those kind of days when I kind of start off. So I know she knows what crazy. I know she knows, or she has an idea of what crazy is, because I get told like it's not every day I'm told that. So I don't think it's
Okay, I just
been a
sent
lot.
it. Kate, where the hell did Kate go again?
She's coming in on the computer this time because
Just sent this.
she's had enough of this phone.
All right, Kate, check Messenger.
And I found that because I was reading. I think Fitz News does an amazing job. Every person associated with them, I think they're doing great. I was reading something about Cousin Eddie, and then it was like the indictment, and I was like, I want to save in case. Let me finish this article, and then I'm gonna click the link and hope I can see it, and it won't count as a view, and I'll have
Right.
to like. So and I read it, and yeah, that's what I talked to Tia about first thing this morning, and she was like,
I think I said I need a nap. It's like, oh, you're overwhelming. I love you so much. I need a nap. But I mean,
you've come in too hot. Start again.
But see, this is the thing, and I just talked about the lady, the coroner, the Emmy, whatever, being so excited. That is LFT. When she gets into a case and she knows she's right and she's excited and passionate, that's what you get, and that's the best. True, and I do mean this from the bottom of my heart. It's the best to wake up to. She's like, oh my God, did you see overnight? No, I was sleeping. No, I didn't. But you have to go back and you have to watch right now. And I'm like, I'm uncracking one eye and trying to throw coffee.
I get excited for that too. I get excited if something big happens in the trial and I have to tell Alice.
yes,
Alice,
I have to tell somebody.
I tell the cat. Alice is over the Murdaugh trial. She's like, Mom, if you say that fucker's name one more time.
I'll just text her instead of calling. So at 6:38 this morning, I think I was like, well, it's only 7 images and 2 different messages. That probably won't wake her up. But there's no message with it either. It's just like screenshots of my Murdaugh, like no message with it. Just, hey, file this shit away. Like, look at this and let me know what you think. And then like. And then 4 hours later, I talked to her again, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're up again. Okay, what?"
Hey, Brace has a good question. It makes you wonder what Cousin Eddie was going to get if he did pew pew, Alex. It definitely had to be worth it. You know what I think he was. Listen, what he was actually going to get, or what he was promised, because I think he was promised something big, but I think what he was actually going to get was left holding the bag for all three of them, Alec,
Mhm.
Okay, wait.
Paul, and Maggie.
He had, and I do think some of the recent financial transactions between Alec and Cousin Eddie prior to the checks were bigger around the
That
time right
time.
before, or yeah, between, say, like, I may be mistaken. I want to say like one I thought was dated May of 2021 or something. I might be off, so please don't take this as absolute fact. But yes, he did get, like, he could get some as, like $500, or he could get,
And
47,000,
Tootin was the
or
kid that was going to cash all those checks. Is that right?
Yes.
he
During
was
that
Well,
time?
he was, yeah.
he got. Oh, I mean, they had it planned. He and Eddie been doing this since 2013.
But see, here's the thing that's messed up. If Eddie had done what he was essentially hired to do, it wouldn't matter, because people are going to be like, well, why would Alec leave a paper trail? Why would he care? He was not supposed to be around anymore. So whatever happened, happened. He would
Hmm.
be no longer here to face the consequences of it. And Eddie would have faced the consequences. And I guarantee you, they would have started looking at him for Paul and Maggie. That was what I think
Hmm.
Alec intended for them to do. I got it, Tia. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Even at minimum, if he obviously did not unalive Alec in the shooting, it would be enough. He would, I think, at minimum, Alec in his head would think that would prompt probably like, oh my God, they're looking to another family member. Like,
Right.
just an easier way to,
And low key, hey,
yeah,
Angry Mimi, maybe Randy was going to sue him. Sue Buster, not Buster, Sue. I looked at the chat. Maybe Randy had designs on suing cousin Eddie for wrongful death for doing that to Alec, regardless
probably.
of
I mean,
whether they were. I mean, because they're crooked. I mean, look, they're crooked. What's that saying? Crooked as a something. I can't think of what it is anymore.
let's just like a lot of what Alex BS to me, I guess I could compare it. My grandmother would be like, this knife wouldn't cut butter in the summer. Like, it is that
Yes.
dull. Like, it looks like intimidating, but no, it won't, like, this knife won't cut butter in the
There's
summer.
pretty Kate. The thing that I think what people do not can't, it's so hard to get your mind really around. It's hard. It's hard for you and me how much that family had law enforcement on lock. Let me let Kate up. Um, hey babe, how much they had, so he
Hello.
wasn't worried. And I think that for his part with the boat case, I think that he was shocked AF that Paul was going to be prosecuted. I don't think he thought it was going to happen at all.
I think so too. I think he thought that they weren't, he had too many connects and they weren't going to prosecute him or something like that,
I think
Who
he
do you
thought that
think? You think Alec wasn't? Is that who we're talking?
Yeah, I don't think Alec thought that they would have. I think he was
after
genuinely
him.
shocked when they when they indicted and charged Paul criminally
So
in the
I
boat
think
crash.
I think with
interesting 'cause
both,
that's
I
the
think he
lead
thought,
to every story that he starts. So I believe that. I
Yeah,
believe you're
because
right.
I really think that he thought that if nothing else, I think he was not dumb, arrogant, yes, but not dumb. And I think that on some level, particularly when people started, commenting on social media, I think that he was aware that there was going to be an outcry for Paul to be punished. But I think that he thought he and his family had done a good enough job conflating who the driver was, that the DA would not charge for fear that they wouldn't be able to get a conviction. That's what I think he thought.
yeah, that too.
And I think he thought with the boat thing, with the lawsuit part of it, I think he really genuinely believed that he said it to Tinsley. Nobody will bring back welcome MK, thank you, welcome to Kookaloo's. I don't think he thought that there was a jury in Hampton that would have found in favor for the Beach family. He said it, he meant it. I think he thought that there would not be, I think that he didn't think that any attorney would actually press the issue. I think he thought he could offer a bullshit ass settlement. They would be so intimidated that they would take it. That's what I
was
think
just
he
going to
thought.
say, I think he thinks people are intimidated of their family and that they won't bother to,
MK, thank you so much. MK gifted 5
thank you.
memberships. Thank you, LFT. Got it. Recliner Detective, CB Kel, Skeeter, and Nonstop Mom. Thank you so much. That was very sweet of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
MK's cool. We love MK.
MK's MK, right?
I
Ultra
learned a
right.
lot from MK today in your chat.
So did I.
Because I listen, do I know how to fire a pew pew? Yes, I do. But I don't know how to load one. Well, that's not true. I do know how to load one, but it has to be a specific kind. I only know how to load one kind. And I know. But but anything else about it, I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. I'm not afraid of them or any of that stuff.
I'm in the same boat. It's exactly.
I'm
There's
ignorant.
a
I'm not
specific
afraid.
and I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of them at all. Actually, I like to shoot the pew pews,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know anything about them, so I can't
No, but having people who do know and can
Mhm.
educate, especially when you're in the middle of a live, was really helpful.
Yes. Hold on, give me 1 second. I have to shut the door. Nestor gave me a no-knock warrant and busted in. Hold on.
I just thought of 2 more questions. Wait.
Oh, yay!
What? Oh, are you being sarcastic?
No, I love your questions.
I was like,
3 years later, when are you going to learn? If I'm going to make fun of you, I'm just going to tell you I'm going to make fun of you. But no, I'm not being sarcastic. I still love you.
I know.
Oh,
what was it? Oh, it was a good one. Oh, the book. Okay.
Write them down.
The card. Well, I figure if I say it out loud, at least I'm going with the odds here. At least 20 of us listening right now, a minimum, are going to remember what I say out loud. I'll likely forget where I put the piece of paper that I wrote it down on.
Sorry, you guys.
Sorry.
I have a chocolate lab, and he's 13. He turned 13 in December, and I know he wants something, but I don't know what it is he wants. He's got food, he's got water, and he's been out, but he wants something, and I'm the only one that can do it. So that's why he'll throw himself into the door to make it open, and then he'll go sit in the living room and wait.
Oh,
come on, Bob. I know you would. I need something. I don't know what it is I need, but could you come out here to help? So yeah.
So they're saying that Eddie could potentially take the stand, but likely not until midweek.
Perfect. Thursday. I know that midweek is technically Wednesday, but Eddie, come on, man.
Yeah.
Thursday. Thank you, Vanessa. Welcome. Welcome to the Kookaloo's.
I want him to take the stand, but I also think he's a great source of reasonable doubt.
Well, here's the thing. I do believe, and I didn't catch this, somehow I missed it, but isn't the person, the lead attorney, the attorney general on this case, isn't he also prosecuting him for the other crimes, i.e. the financial crimes?
Wait, I thought he didn't he.
Maybe did he recuse himself?
He had to he recused himself.
Okay, because they did say the attorney general, and I got a little confused.
I believe that's right. He did it like. Isn't that why Waters is okay? That's why Waters is prosecuting it, and without the what's his name's involvement at all.
Okay. You're probably right. That makes
Mm-hmm.
more sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine that he's weighed the pros and the cons of putting cousin Eddie up on that stand. He's got to, and if he puts him up there, it's going to be a calculated risk.
Well, do you okay in terms of like that indictment stuff but that Eddie has on them
Mm-hmm.
and what's stated in there in terms of their unlawful activities and what they were or what they are alleged to be taking part of. Actually, do you think that the defense would be kind of worried about that aspect coming out? Because I feel like they're doing a really good job. Like they've said, the money's missing because he's had an opioid addiction for 20 some odd years.
Mm-hmm.
But and then what was his name on like one of the main news interview stations? He was like, "That's a lot of oxy dick," like that. Like,
but here's the thing about that. Like, first of all, why do they assume it's oxy? Number one, there are other opioids that you can take that are not oxy, that people have been on for like decades. But before I ask that, CB Cal, what's your chocolate lab's name? I just want to know for science. But the thing of it is, when they were going through that home, there weren't like pills laying around. Do you know what I mean? And let me just say this. Pills get dropped. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. I know that when I was on hydrocodone, I used to put the pill bottle in between the mattress and the box spring because it's heavy and nobody knew where it was and I would know if it was touched. And mainly it was because I was worried, what if, the kids got into it? I had to consider it, or their friends more than my kids, which, and I didn't have like a lockbox or anything. But there were a few times when I would move that mattress and I'd be dadgummed if there weren't like 3 loose pills. I think I wouldn't have any. And miracle of miracles, there'd be 3 loose pills. It happens. It's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So for them not to find anything, I think Alexandra, you're right. I completely concur with it. I think it was a stall tactic. I think it was baloney, like everything else.
Okay, so on the medical side, wouldn't you have damage from that long somewhere in your system?
So one of the things that is in opiates usually is like hydrocodone is, mixed with acetaminophen. And acetaminophen in high doses does do liver damage, but your liver is one of those things that regenerates and heals itself depending on the type of damage. Cirrhosis, like from alcohol, and like hepatitis, those kind of things are something that the liver does not heal from. However, yes, if you are on like that kind of a medication for a long enough time, can it do liver damage? Yes, but if you stop and you're off of it, can your liver recoup? Yes. Maybe not 100%, right? But I don't think it's not permanent. It's damaged, but it's not like the kidneys. When you damage your kidneys, your kidneys are damaged forever. They don't ever get any better. Like you can do damage to your liver with medications, some medications, and still be okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out 20 years of opioid use.
I would think there alcohol.
Right. I would think there would be more. I'm trying to be polite here.
He doesn't even have like a speeding, like a drunken driving or
I'm going to tell you what's missing from the picture. I'm going to call it out. What's missing from Alec is the sober blow. So typically when people there are some people who, when they're on opioids, actually lose weight. depends on who. Depends because some people, I'm some people. When I was on hydrocodone, it was an appetite suppressant. It made me not hungry, and I lost like weight, right? But
Mhm.
and it works the same for heroin too. People who are on heroin, which is but they become skinny. And
Mhm.
then when they're clean and when they're sober for a while, you have the sober bloat. And Alec is the opposite. He was overweight at a time when he would have been at the height of his opioid use. And now
Mhm.
that he's gone to the clink, he's thin.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the opposite. He should have a
Okay.
sober bloat. And he doesn't have it. He's actually thinner.
He went, yeah.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
So that's where I get confused though, because I wonder, I know in terms of this case, yes, the defense
Hmm.
does have a job ahead of them. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, they're not there to have to they don't have to prove their point. It's the state that has to prove theirs. And so the way they kind of handled the whole addiction and drug use, they've kept it like, I feel like very, beginner level, just kind of like he's had this, like taking these prescription pills, it was horrible. He just got just making it surface value almost.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like it
Hmm.
led to all these terrible decisions. It did, but no, right now they're just like, he's just in this mix of addiction or whatever, was spending money on the drugs. But everyone are like, I don't know how the defense is going to continue to spin and use that as one of their pillars when you have half of the witnesses going, I never noticed a freaking thing. I am so shocked. He could handle cases. He could do stuff like
I'm shocked that he never had a slip show moment.
that's what.
Mm.
And so like, then how's the defense going to be like?
I don't
See,
know.
guys, like,
They don't really want to talk. They don't actually want to address the pills. The truth of the matter is, I suspect the reason Alec looks like he does is because he's not drinking.
Thank you. So that's my point right there is he was taking these pills and drinking like a fish out of water. I mean, he had to be a sloppy ass drunk, like not even fun, like sloppy ass drunk. To be able to handle the pills that he's taking, quote unquote, I say that because I don't know for sure, and the drinking, which we know he was doing because we have pictures of that.
Right.
He had to be one sloppy ass like bobblehead drunk.
well, do you know what I think about that too,
Hmm.
Tia and panel? Is that okay? Say that drinking is also compensating, and we're kind of thinking more. This is going deeper into it, but say that drinking is masking the anxieties and everything else that he's involved in, because that
Right.
pressure has to build. Because I started thinking about it. You have the upcoming boat. You've got the boat case, and you've got buku's on the line there. Not to mention your reputation, and in this case, that's affected your entire family. You have this thing with you know you've got friends that you've gotten involved in with stuff that are loaning you money and or don't even realize the money they're giving you or what they're involved in. So you've got that pressure. You've got the banking issue with Bank of America and Palmetto State. Like then you found out the force, like all that stuff that he's been doing for years
Hmm.
and years. That
Yeah,
pressure had to.
you're
I
growing up.
can't imagine. Like, do you think that could be part of the reason for the drug
Yeah,
or
for
drinking?
sure. Like for doing the drugs, for
Uh huh.
sure. Oh, for sure. Like, but I think, I mean, if he was doing it, I think he was doing it for longer than, like, I think he was doing it for a while. I mean, he at least implied that he had been doing it for like 10 years or something like that. That's why I do hope that they have, what's it called up? Eddie, because Eddie was allegedly his drug dealer.
Hey, girls, Can I let you just talk? I'll be in the chat. I gotta take care of Nestor.
Yeah,
He
Oh,
needs
of course.
something. I just don't know what he needs.
Oh,
I'll be right
yes.
back. Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
right back, but I'll
Yeah.
be in the chat. I hate doing that, but
No.
usually
No, do what you gotta
usually
do.
I'm playing a video or something and I can like escape. I don't want to make other people hold
You
down
got
my
live
panel.
entertainment.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll be right back. I'll be right
Just
back.
a
Oh.
cat. He eats mints constantly all day. That's what he's putting in his mouth constantly. He's chewing on something constantly. He always has to have mints. So probably seeing the white mints that he's putting. They're like the lifesaver mints that he puts in his
Yeah,
mouth.
isn't that what he put in his mouth in the car when they were
Yes.
interviewing him?
Mhm.
Constantly. So, like, I don't want to start any rumors that he's doing pills on the court, in the court's time there, because that would be not something on Jen Lou's channel I want to do. But I will tell you, I do know for a fact he does eat those silly little mints. So keep an eye out for that when you're in the trial. Take a shot for how many? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But like really he does pay attention, pay attention to that because he eats. I was wondering the same thing when I saw it. I was like, what the hell is he like? I didn't know we were allowed to have snacks in court.
Well,
Right.
he's not dipping. He's not doing, because like I said, like everyone that like in the South,
Can't
all the
chew
guys
tobacco.
can't, so he's
Yeah.
not dipping, and you have,
Nope.
I hate the term, but like the oral, like you get used, like if
An
you're,
oral fixation. I
Yeah.
had to, when I quit smoking, I had to eat candy for like months because I just
Mhm.
had the urge to just like a hand, like I would use lollipops because I had the urge to do like a hand mouth
Mhm.
thing. Like
I
I was
chew
so
on
used to it.
pens. I still do it. I chew on pens because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to, you just, yeah. So I just wanted to clear. I saw that comment and I was like, I don't want that to be out there. But was he a smoker? I don't know if he was a smoker, but I think he does the tobacco, and
Yeah, he had chew in his on the floor of his
Yeah.
car.
I'm pretty, like,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's Skull or whatever what brand I don't.
Corky, that's
The-
really actually a very good point. Mints are probably a habit he picked up from covering the alcohol in his breath. I can buy that.
Mhm. Okay, so he's having to, his life is total compensation every day. He's having to compensate or deal with something. You know what I mean? He lives in an internal and literal turmoil because
Yeah.
you're moving money. You have to stay on
He's playing catch up every day,
Yeah.
right?
It's what is it? What did I call it earlier? It was like, it's literally like the low country, like, I don't know. I think of like Gone with the Wind meets Madoff. Like it's that whole southern kind of tie
Gone
that
with the
sound, and
Wind
meets
meets
like
Madoff.
Bernie Madoff. Like you just boom. Yeah, that's.
Oh, he's a diabetic? I didn't know that.
No.
Well,
Someone
did
said
he
on Law
say
and Crime.
what was the thing about Tia? Did you mention that about the Walgreens bag or the prescription?
Well, it wasn't me. No, it was someone else. I was reading their comment.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to
Was
take
there
credit for
one?
someone else. I didn't see any. That's like I had Walgreen bags on the plenty,
but he had
and I'm
gone.
not on it.
I couldn't believe that the receipt, the
I wonder
bill
if they're.
card, 'cause
I wonder. Hold on, my joke. Feeding him candy and
What?
making behave in court. Who just said he was diabetic? I wonder if they're sugar-free mints. Is that? I wonder if you can do that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
maybe
Well,
it's
Lord
his
have
money.
mercy if he's
Maybe
popping
it's
that
his
many
money.
damn pills during the day. I don't know how he's sitting upright.
Maybe that's where he's hiding his money. It's all. I don't know. I don't.
He's in mints.
They're in mints. Oh, what's
He's
the whole-
hoping the
okay,
lifesavers will do their job.
Okay, talk about it. Here's another. I could have called Jen Lou first thing this morning, and y'all, all of y'all, with this one. How about him owning the funeral home? Have we anyone that there's a Y'all,
He owned a funeral home? I didn't know
he owns
that.
it. Oh my God. And it goes, so this goes back to the drug stuff too. And I go, oh my God, it's Bad Boys 2. I go, they literally took the story of Bad Boys 2. Are we serious right now? Yes, it's a more recent investment that he got involved with. I want to say it is in Georgia. Okay, hold on. I will find it. Oh, shoot. A monkey. How do I, oh, on the iPad. I got it. Give me 1 second. There's a whole, a very, very interesting article. I want to say, y'all, it was Fitz News. It's one of their more recent ones, like from this year, I believe. I'll find it. It is the craziest because I literally was like, I thought in my head I went to Bad Boys 2 because that one cracks me up, and
Oh my!
I just
He's got every racket covered.
yes, literally, that's what I had to go with, like Gone with the Wind meets
Yeah,
Madoff.
Madoff. Yeah, you nailed it. And Tia, it was me. I'm the one that was like, where are the prescription bags? Or
Yeah,
where are the
see,
little plastic bags that illicit substances come in? Because they don't be when you buy them on the street. And I don't know because I, honest to God, have never ever bought pills on the street. But I would imagine it's like any other drug, and they come in a plastic baggie.
Or like baggies or something, yeah.
Yeah, and there was
Well, it
none of
depends
those.
because if he was ever subscribed them, like he might just have them like take it, get them, and put them right in a bottle or something.
That's
But I mean,
well, that's true. But
yeah.
prescriptions expire, and here's the other thing. Guess what the guess what the pharmacies are doing now? You have to match the prescriptions when you buy them off the street if you're going to do that, because printed on the side of a controlled or a narcotic and a controlled substance is the stamp
Yeah.
of what the pill should look like.
Oh yeah, you
So
got to look at the stamp on the thing and then read
yeah,
the
so you'd
bottle.
have to do some. Listen, do I think that this is what I think happened. Do I think he popped pills? Probably. Do I think he had a problem like he's trying to say? No, I think it was probably more casual. But I do think that he had, if he ever did it, he had a prescription, a legitimate prescription for it. I don't think that he was, spending $11 billion on some
I
damn
don't
ass
either.
pills.
mm-mm.
I don't either.
A
So if
lot
he
of
had a
people,
funeral home,
Corky, are
maybe he
saying
used
that.
that. Maybe
There's
he
a lot
used.
of people that a lot of people suspect that he buried the clothes with his dad.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, you think so? Well, was it he owned the funeral home like that? His
Yeah,
that.
I think this is one of the more recent. It's got to be in his tax, like his, public record stuff in terms of, business records and tax stuff. But I want to say it may be like it may be in Georgia, right in Savannah. It was something that it was the funeral home, what they bought it from. It was two names, so and so and blank. It was two like last names. Oh shoot, this is gonna drive me nuts, and I hate giving. This is where I just was mind blown, and it took me back to the Eddie thing, and I got to that thing because I was reading Eddie stuff, and this is
So if he did
when
own the funeral home, it's
Mhm.
very possible that he could have hid the clothes in his dad's like.
That's what someone was like. Has anyone looked at the funeral home thing? Or Randy may be involved with the funeral home too. Don't quote me. This is all allegedly entertainment purposes only
Wow.
until verified in 1 second.
Hey, Corky. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you would have to it would have to be the same stamp every single time. Do you know what I mean? If he were going to keep them in a bottle, because they will get looked at. I mean, it's scary what they can do these. I just don't think that was his issue regardless. I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of ways around it, but I don't think that Alec had to do that he was a personal injury attorney, which means he had access. He knew doctors. And I think that he got legitimate prescriptions. If he was getting a prescription, if he was getting anything like pain medication wise, an opiate, he was going to CVS or Walgreens or Walmart
And
or
P.S. They're only like 50 cents when they run it through your insurance too. So
yeah,
that's
I
another
mean,
fun fact.
yeah.
Why did
His
he
money
need
wasn't
that?
going to drugs.
Why did he need
MK
that
says
insurance
Hall,
card?
Jones, and Brown. Okay. It's interesting because he called about that right before
Uh-huh.
the situation with on the side of the road. We're just going to call it the side of the road
Yeah.
situation just for YouTube edits.
hmm
Um, he called Blanca like that Saturday before. But what he asked for was the paper. And he said that it was because he wanted to make an appointment for some tests that he needed to have done. And the only thing that I can think of, which Tia would know better about this than me, is perhaps the carrier for his medical insurance also carried his life insurance, because it was very clear what he wanted was the number, the 800 number. That's what he was trying to get from her. That's why he wanted the paper. He wanted the number off of the back to call.
It's very possible. It's very, very possible.
He paid $110,000 for a funeral home in 2020.
Oh wow.
In 2020,
In
Jesus,
January
it's
of
a full
2020,
circle moment.
I would
In
imagine that those pew
Uh-huh.
pews were
Uh-huh.
in the
That's what I thought.
crematorium.
I thought something like that they went somewhere and not throwing them just in the water in case they were finally, something
Because
like.
he knew, I mean, he has to know
Mm-hmm.
on some level. Being Now, granted, his forte was not prosecution. He did a few cases, but I mean, he was around it his whole life. His family were prosecutors, for Pete's sake, not just prosecutors, the prosecutors. They were the DAs. And, he would be familiar with law enforcement and the way that they work with their investigations. And of course, that's like criminology 101, looking for the murder weapon, right? And because the murders occurred where they occurred, there is a body of water out there that wasn't on the property at the time, right? Because they fill in the pond, right? But there are other bodies of water that ain't that far. Hello. So of course they're going to try to check any available bodies of water, but how handy dandy it would be if you had your own crematorium.
Can I put? I don't since I wanted to make sure I credit it, but it's Fitz News. If anyone wants to Google it, it's Fitz News. This was written. I apologize. It was April of 2022. It's Alec Murdaugh paid $110K for a funeral home in 2020. That seems unusual. He also bought a hearse, and then it goes the whole
Huh?
article. Yes, the whole article. Like I am sitting here.
See, look
MK,
at MK.
you and
MK's
I was,
nailing it.
damn
That's where I'm
it.
thinking. He's got the racket covered. He's the person.
Damn,
who's
that's what I
the
just said.
attorney.
Full
Then
circle.
he can I know you, your loved one passed away. I have a great funeral home. They'll fix you right up.
Yeah.
This is.
He's such a slime
Okay.
ball.
All right, on Tuesday. All right, let me see.
What
Let
a
me see what
schmuck.
I'm seeing what
Dear
names are in here.
So
How much do you want to bet that he did this with at least another name in terms of like going in on the business? How much do you want to bet their last name starts with like a B or a
Buller?
Okay, MK looked it up, and he told me, and he wrote in here what it was. He didn't just tell me, he told maybe he's being facetious, but I don't think so. Hall, Jones, and Brown.
Is that it? Wait. Yes, wait, that's it. When I say something in it was John. All right,
Yeah.
the purchase. Murdaugh first wired $147,000 from Palmetto State Bank.
Of course. What
Hold
other
on.
bank would you use? You got a whole
Hold
ass
on.
other bank, but you ain't used that one.
Brown. Give me 1 second. Is it what? Oh, I need to know which Brown it is, because that may be the real estate attorney that they used for, oh gosh, darn it, I don't have it printed out. It
for
was just
the
for Maggie's Properties.
yeah, for Matt he's
Oh,
right. Thank you. Wait, who said was that
MK.
who
MK.
MK, thank you. I'm glad you found that. I was like, I swear to gracious, I don't think I'm crazy. I really think I read this last night. So and then okay, so wait, he's so MK can correct me because
Ooh,
I'm
this is a
probably
good question.
What is
and
it?
Russell
Did his
Lafitte signed
funeral
off on the
home
wire.
Barry, I started to sound it out. Barry, Mrs.
Bury?
Satterfield. Bury.
Um, oh wait, I think we have his death. No, do we?
Her obituary. What's the name of it again,
I know.
please?
Hall. He bought Hall Jones and
Brown.
Brown Funeral Home, and now it's called The Purchase. He bought it from, according to court records, the estates of Abram Brown and Lily Brown entered into agreement on January 7th in 2020 with Martin. Hall Jones and Brown Funeral Home was in default of its loan agreement with Southeastern Bank. The bank advertised the property in the Brunswick News once a week per month, announcing its intent to sell it to the highest and best bidder for cash. It sold for $147,000 to Martin, but Murdaugh paid the bulk of the purchase price.
Okay, but is it the same? Is it Abram or Abraham Brown?
ABRAMF
Abram.
Brown.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna run a little talk amongst yourselves, boys and girls, because I wonder if this is
I didn't mean to hijack anything, Jinlu. I'm sorry.
No, babe, you're absolute. No, this is all part of it. No, I love this.
Okay.
This is all part of it. We need to know all of these things. It's I wish the jury could know all of these things.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Okay.
Go ahead.
but never, ever, 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 ever be sorry for your knowledge. Don't ever be sorry for your intelligence. Ever.
Thank you.
Not over here.
Y'all were right. You know how you just said he helps victims and makes connections. I just read this. The puzzling, MK, if you're there yet in the article, the puzzling connection part. John Martin, who is the owner of now it's called Martin's Funeral Home, the man who purchased the funeral home using $110,000 of Murdaugh's money, is also the father of one of Murdaugh's alleged victims.
Repeat that again. What did you just say?
Oh my gosh. Murdaugh is accused of taking $338,056.14 that was supposed to be invested on the behalf of his client, Dion John Martin of Allendale County. The check was supposed to be compensation for Martin's injuries. Just over a year later, Murdaugh is accused of taking an additional $45,000 from Martin's settlement. Murdaugh allegedly deposited both checks into his fake forge account and spent the money on personal expenses. Martin was first identified. Yes. Oh God, my gracious.
Oh, stop saying my gracious. She wants to say fuck. That's what she said.
Oh my God! By the way, the court filings are at the end of there's four different links, so it's all the court documents are here for it too.
Oh my gosh!
Wow,
this is unreal. This is what people like. No wonder. I understand. I get frustrated with the prosecution, but I understand the enormity of what they're trying to explain and how it is abstract in the sense of not like I didn't unalive this person because I want the $500,000 life insurance. This isn't that. This is it's
some shit.
Yeah, it's complex and it's chaos. It's Murdaugh mayhem. Like this is
it's so deep. Like it's so many things it's like it's like cases inside of cases inside of cases inside of cases.
Yes.
It's the thing that got me
Rabbit
hooked.
holes. It's bad.
I'm trying to find the real estate stuff because on the real estate stuff, it's stamped with the attorney's name. And I am not 1,000% sure, but I think Brown is the last name.
Oh boy.
The more I
I'm
hear about
pretty
things, though,
sure.
and the more add-ons to like his
Mhm.
crimes, I do try and like I'm like, well, I can kind of see like think about it. If you did all this stuff and nobody knew about it, and now it was like all about to come out,
Mhm.
I'd be scared to freaking death. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
you're
I feel like,
and you're
Well, what is his
impulsive.
answer? Let me commit more of the biggest crime you can commit legally,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
yeah,
And morally, it's the worst.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
On
for
every
sure.
level. I'm a whole entire heathen. All right. But even I know the first commandment is thou shalt not kill.
Yep.
And I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure that somewhere in the fine print of that is especially your wife and your children.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay.
I mean?
But
They're
see,
like,
So,
the top of the list of people you shouldn't kill. You know what I mean?
right, exactly. Like your whole purpose of being, it's not the only purpose, but the main biggest thing in the beginning when you have like a little baby, right, is mainly to keep nothing from happening to that baby. Keep the baby alive. That's, and then if you can impart some wisdom and some good things along the way, that's even better. But the main job is to keep them alive.
Yeah.
It's just the antithesis and protect them. It's just the antithesis of everything that a parent is supposed to be. And then on top of it,
Mhm.
he's in another position of trust, which is a lawyer.
Mhm.
People hire attorneys because they don't understand the law and they trust that their attorney is going to do right by them.
Yeah.
That these are people who they don't go to work every day for the hell of it. It's they go to work because they're paying their bills, they're providing for their families. And when workers comp gets involved, they only pay you a third of your income. You can't make it on that. Most, just the average American, it's a hit, a huge hit.
Mhm.
And your lawyer comes in and they tell you, listen, don't worry about it. Things are going to be tight for a little bit, but
Mhm.
at the end of this, we're going to get you a settlement. And the settlement never comes, or you got a settlement, but you only got part of it. And this fool over here, greedy as hell, which is another one. It's not a commandment, but it is one of the seven deadlies, as well as sloth. Chubbs, I'm looking at you, Murdaugh. Put down them beers. It's not good for you. Pick up a treadmill. Anywho,
But
you know,
think his whole but think about his entire life. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying their whole family are crooks or anything, but I mean, they did their taxes. I'm sure, they didn't break the law like necessarily every day. I don't mean that, but think about
Huh?
it. They always got away with something the whole
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
His whole life has been getting away with something. He never really has to face a consequence because he can get away because of how his whole life is almost like a charade. It's almost a facade. Like
well,
it's
I mean, if
just
your family is the one that's hand is deciding who
Mhm.
gets prosecuted, it's much easier to get away with shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
he had that. It's disgusting. The
But
abuse.
they never even did it. They did it greed like I don't know. I mean, I think it
Well,
started not it's
Rum
it was
Runner.
yeah, I go with Buster with Alex's grandfather. I think he started it the scandal and the cover-ups. I felt like maybe kind of started they stemmed from that run of power, and then they were constantly from that point forward they were involved in something related to a scandal that they were always going to have to watch their back on no matter
Right.
what.
The
And
thing
decide like
about doing things like that and being those kind of people, when you step on, listen, I relate it just every time to Bug's Life. The ants, which is us, outnumber the grasshoppers, which is them. You got to be you got to walk a fine line. Once the ants figure it out and get sick of it and figure out, hey, we outnumber you. When you do something and you finally did, don't act like, that's my thing about Alec. He through his attorneys is acting as if this is just, poor put upon Alec. They had tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? No, what it is people are tired of your shit. And now you've done enough to so many people that now we're going to get you on every single charge. Somebody asked during the lunch break today if Alec or his family, because they were talking about how the defense is being paid for, which is interesting too.
Oh yeah, that whole.
So they were asking about, like if he showed like some contrition or tried to pay back, if they would stop with the financial stuff. They probably would have years ago when it happened, but not now. It's too late. He's been indicted and he said he didn't do it. So it is what it is. You're on the hook, Shug.
Yes.
So I mean, it's just the greed and just the taking advantage of people.
And it doesn't matter who it is. Like,
right.
And
he took advantage of stole from law enforcement, for fuck's sake. One of his clients was a cop.
And then I thought of I believe it was Connor Cook's father in the HBO thing.
Yes.
Like the defeat that they felt, and they just resigned themselves. That there was he was pissed that his high school friend would do this, but also he to hear him go, like, we just accepted it, like there was nothing, we were never gonna nothing.
Exactly.
And that was that she just said that people right now are even still scared of or intimidated, probably, or worrisome of that family, and won't talk to media for fear of retaliation. And I think, like, Connor Cook's parents and stuff, that speaks directly to it. Like, you don't.
Right.
There's fear, and all fear, and what can you do? What, like?
I mean, yeah. It's disgusting, and I know that there have been some comments in the various like chats that are streaming, and I mean like Law and Crime or Court TV, where people are really angry at the prosecutor for bringing up the financial stuff, that he's arrogant, he's this and he's that, and it's an ego thing. Well, he's in the same profession as Murdaugh. It's a position of power, but it's also a position of trust, just like a doctor. Okay. When you go to your doctor, you go to your doctor because they know the body, right? And if you find out that your doctor is lazy, right, and he's performing surgeries and he's leaving surgical equipment in people, and then just being like YOLO, it would make you feel some type of way. But from one doctor, but doctors will hold other doctors in even more contempt than the average person will. So I think a lot of what we're seeing from the prosecution in this case is his outrage that Alec did what he did, that he took advantage of people in the way that he did, people who really need the money. I mean, it's bad to steal from anybody, even if he had stolen from very, very wealthy people. Stealing is wrong, but he didn't. He stole from people who were
victims. Yeah.
They
in the
were
worst times of their life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just think back to the beach case. I mean, like we said the other night, watching that footage, you want to see the Murdaughs in action. Watch them walk around that hospital. And to hear everyone say, never once was it about anyone like, are you okay? Like, maybe like, hey, bud, you okay? You good? Don't say anything. That's what it was. It was no, like, we're going to find her. No mention of what's going on. They were at work 25 minutes after the call.
They were there to control a narrative. That's what they were there to do. They were there to be lawyers. They were working. It wasn't about once they saw that Paul was fine, which I think they already knew. But once they saw it for themselves, I'm sure because it's human nature. I think that once Paul's grandfather got on the scene and realized that, Paul didn't have, even though he was flung from the boat, isn't that how it always is too? That one that's driving is the one that's the least injured. Everybody
Because they're
else
the
is the
most,
one.
yeah, because they're the most relaxed. They're the most relaxed. It's insane.
Well, Alexandra, I think all of us, I think we've done brought Tia. She was like hesitant to get in on this case, like how invested we are, but she's there now. And welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome. And
I do love this case though, in the all the ways that you, yes. If you're a researcher, the way that people like to deep dive and things like that, and to be fair, that is exactly what LFT kept saying. Like, this is up our alley. And no, it's not.
It is.
No,
It's not. Because
not.
it's not cut and dry. There are lots of cases of murder, and it's sad how many there are, but the majority of cases are very cut and dry. This case is not cut and dry. This one has a ton of layers to it, but it's all connected. This case has something for everybody, honestly.
It really does.
There is even a touch of conspiracy to it, in the fact that, hello, that family was running the solicitor's office. They are the people who decide who gets prosecuted. And not only that, but they decide if you're prosecuted, if it's for something like this, whether you're going to be getting the death penalty. That's the power that they have.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. I have the list of like everything the medical examiner said. If you guys want me to read
you
it.
do? Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to hear that, but I was going to piggyback what Jen Lou just said about like how interconnected it is. A part of that is one of my fears, though. It's kind of like the Epstein thing. You've got so many powerful people, and when I say powerful, like small town powerful, connected, that you wonder if they're going to help put a stop to something, because they know if that comes out, then this is coming out, or this. Oh God, if they start looking there, and that's
like a domino effect. Well, I'll get in trouble. Like, I feel like he's involved so many people that it got to the point where like they had to keep a secret, because it's like, if I don't, then I'm going to be in trouble, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said this every live I've been on. Jen Lou, LFT, you guys are the ones, Criminality Kate, you guys are the ones that wrote me in, and now I'm hooked. This is, we're talking about DRUGS, this voice. What are you hooked on, Murdaugh?
I don't want to be liable, though.
No, you won't be. I released you from all liability.
I believe my early morning phone calls that proved the fact that there's reasonable doubt for Jen Lou not to be the catalyst of this. Like, all she has to do is be like, I just LFT. That's all you have to say in court. Like, you don't have to object. Just be like, LFT, and everyone would be like, yeah.
Sustained.
Do what Lori said. Leave your touch DNA on that like button. Come on.
Show your smashy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. I'll show it. Right,
that's my favorite.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
He's another one. He's something else.
Okay,
that's
Kate.
another case.
Right. So she is a board certified in forensic pathology, former pathologist at Wake Forest, but Medical University of South Carolina for the last 14 years. She's a professor at MUSC in addition to being a forensic pathologist. She estimated about 5,500 autopsies in her career. I can't imagine. You
What's
know
her
what I mean?
name
Like,
again?
Dr. Ellen Reimer.
Okay.
I literally thought you were going to say doctor.
I thought because the forensic pathologist that performed Stephen Smith's autopsy, also from MUSC, Presnell. But I don't know why. I just couldn't remember. I mean, I know they're not the same person. I just couldn't remember this doctor's name. I just went on a whole fucking squirrel moment for literally zero reason. Please continue, Kate. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Dr. Reimer has been qualified as an expert witness in forensic pathology around 250 times in South Carolina and North Carolina tribal lands. Reimer, now established as an expert witness in the case, she's demonstrating Paul Murdaugh's shotgun blast wounds for the jury, starting with the wound in the front left of his chest, armpit, back, and left arm. She notes the stippling on Paul Murdaugh's skin from the burning gunpowder. She says this indicates the shot was fired from within 3 feet. Reimer says the shotgun pellets didn't enter Paul's chest cavity and didn't hit any vital organs, so he would have most likely survived the first shot and wouldn't even have been knocked off his feet. Reimer says Paul's arm injuries from the first shotgun blast indicate his hands were down and not up. Reimer discusses the second shotgun wound to Paul. Pellets went into and across the top of his left shoulder, into the left side of his face and neck, then through his brain. And there's a lot of typos in here. Sorry. It says then trowel. Then through his brain and skull and out the upper right side of his head. His brain was, this is trigger warning, guys. His brain was detached and was expelled from his skull. It actually arrived separately in a bucket for the autopsy. The entry location of the shotgun blast in his face and neck suggests he was facing the shooter on his left when the shot was fired. So I guess he was looking to his left. So that would make sense that whoever came through that back door, because he was in the other doorway. Reimer says the second shot to Paul was immediately fatal, and he had abrasions on his face, indicating he fell to the ground unprotected without bracing or protecting his face. Reimer says there's no evidence of defensive wounds on Paul Murdaugh. His toxicology report shows he only had caffeine in his system at the time of his death, no alcohol or drugs. Reimer says Maggie suffered 5 gunshot wounds, either from 4 shots with 5 wounds or 5 shots with 5 wounds. Maggie's injuries were consistent with an assault rifle. She's now trying to explain the likely order of her 5 wounds. The first shot was front to back, downward trajectory, entered somewhere around her right breast, into her intestines, through her pancreas and left kidney, and out the left side of her back, about 10 inches below where it entered. Second wound, front to back, right to left, downward. Parallel to first shot, entered upper front left thigh and exited lower rear of left thigh. Gunshot wound 3. Sorry, I'm talking slow because I'm trying to imagine it as I'm like saying it to like where people would be standing.
Well, I'm thinking about it in my brain as you're saying it, and everything is a downward trajectory. Doesn't that indicate the person is taller than the victim?
Yeah.
Not only that, but was she falling?
Yeah. But it sounds like the other, like I'm wondering if like, well, I would imagine it was just one person with one gun and another person with another gun if it was 2 people. Let me see, where was I? Gunshot wound 3 in upper Oh wait, sorry. Where was I? Both of Maggie's frontal parallel gunshot wounds were accompanied by gunpowder stippling burns again, indicating the shot was fired within about 3 feet.
Dear
Gunshot.
God.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
That's
I'm trying to.
close.
Oh.
It's so much closer than I had originally kind of
Me too.
envisioned.
Yeah, that's
It
Me
is
too.
so much closer than I imagined as well. Like I
Mhm.
was imagining her
Mhm.
being far away, but like this actually makes me think maybe there could have been a second shooter.
Between
Unless,
her facing her head facing in the direction of Paul, like
yeah, like
where
she
she
was
shot
running for Paul, I think, or like heading that way towards Paul.
way, and
Maybe.
then because that would account for the shots to the front of her, because
Right.
whoever
See,
killed Paul was still kind of over there, by the kennels, and so then they're swinging in the. She's
Well,
coming
I
from the
don't
right.
know because I think that whoever came for Paul would have been in the back of the kennels because he was in the front of the kennel, and they said he
what if he walked
turned.
through the kennel, walked
Mhm.
completely through,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe Maggie heard the shots,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
she was
maybe,
starting
yeah.
to walk in one direction and turned to go in the other direction to go towards her son,
Yeah.
who she knew
I
was, because that's not a rational thought, right? You
Yeah,
know,
you're
Mm-mm.
you
immediately
hear
thinking your
gunshots
kid.
that are
Mhm.
coming from the direction of where your child is, and your inclination is to run to your child, not
Yeah.
to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what leads me to believe. See, I was thinking that the shooter, Kate, how you're thinking maybe behind, like coming like from that.
Yeah, I thought
You know,
maybe he was coming from behind the kennel
I
and Paul was standing in
Mm-mm.
there and turned back and saw him and then
I envision more of him, like say, where the kennels are. Okay, so
yeah.
I see the shooter approaching. So their left shoulders, like kind of facing the kennel side. They're walking up, so they're sneaking up on him because Paul's walking out of the feed room. He gets hit
Yeah.
once and stumbles forward, and then gets hit again. So my impression is someone, if that feed room door swung outward, like when you opened it, I guess if you pulled
It's
it open,
in. Yeah.
but if it
No,
swung
it swings
outward,
in.
and
No,
yeah,
it
but I
swings
just
in.
meant if it did swing out like outward, I was saying like that's where you envision the person hiding behind it, but the door actually swings inward. So, but they're coming up as if they were kind of like almost hiding behind the door, which would, because Paul's leaning forward, which is why it goes through his left side, because
Yeah.
his left shoulders come down and it goes in and then out the other side.
Paul was, I think, ambushed in a much different way than Maggie
Mhm.
was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, my gut tells me that Paul was the intended was they. I think that
I think they were
they
both
were
intended at this
both the
point.
target, but I think that it is because of the boat accident, and also I believe that
Agreed.
Paul would have been the person because of his. If we believe everything that has been said, is that he just be leaving guns laying around all willy nilly, then the chances are that there would have. I find it very suspect, though, that it's his firearms that are missing, not anybody else's.
Yeah.
Everybody else's are accounted for because
Yeah.
his were used that day against him.
I think it's
Which is,
interesting because LFT and I differ on where the shots came from.
I say,
I think it's.
we need
I
some
think it's.
kind of we need fuse. What is it? Not fuse. What's it called?
Pharaoh
Pharaoh.
again.
We need another. We need a reenactment with the
I
360.
Well, I know they have that. What do you call it? LFT. The where is laid out like the mock. What am I trying to say? I lost my
like
words
a
because I'm.
model home, like a
Yeah.
like
Yes.
I found this on the web.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's again. Look at her popping up on my wrist. SIRI just keeps popping in.
She's
I'm
so
speaking at the
rude
wrong
and
time.
intrusive.
I agree.
I still think it's
what was I-
interesting that. Oh, sorry, Tia.
You say
Sorry.
they have something. We were talking about we need
we've
a
all
Pharaoh
seen it.
type
We've
situation.
Yeah, it's not 3D. It's just it's the crime scene, not photo, but
Oh, you
whatever
mean
you
where
want to
they
call
draw it and show
The
where he's
diagram?
standing? They do.
the diagram. Sweet
The
baby
trajectory
Jesus.
diagram, where like the bullet, like showing where the
I
bullets
like.
and stuff.
Yes, I couldn't get that word out. Thank you so much for reaching into
yes,
my brain.
that's like a two-dimensional thing, which yes, I can picture it, but I feel like what is it? The $1 million man, we have the capabilities, we have the technology. Like, why are we not
Someone
reenacting?
did do it. They took a picture of Paul. They scaled the height of him, like did it
Mhm.
to, and so they show him standing. So it's like an outline of him. It's like a white
Okay.
figure to size, and then they show him in the feed room, and then they show him kind of at the door, and then they're showing it around the crime scene. Um, but I wanted to say I do agree. It's something about Paul because I think it's very interesting and telling in all of everything that Alex said that night and the day or two after.
Mhm.
Remember, it's almost like pointing blame at Paul.
Mhm.
Like he had the boat crash. They were
Mhm.
doing all this stuff. I
Mhm.
know Paul sometimes leaves the guns out. You talk about Paul all negatively, but you didn't even try his damn cell phone that night. You didn't even
Well,
call Paul.
he had to kill Paul because he's trying to make his story, which he jumps immediately and says it in the body cam footage. He's like
Mhm.
brings up the boat stuff immediately. So
Mhm.
if you don't kill Paul, it doesn't look like other people did it. You know what I mean? Like if they killed Maggie,
Exactly.
it's like why would people retaliate against Maggie? They're going to retaliate against Paul. So Paul had to have been the victim to make like the main target to make it look like they were retaliating.
And he threw the social media posts in there, which is interesting because
Mm-hmm.
Low Country showed some of those social media posts. Now, you know dang right well, if there was one that was in there that was actually threatening, like really threatening, I'm not talking about like you need your ass beat or something like that. I'm talking about an actual I'm coming for you to unalive your ass kind of a thing. That shit gets flagged, for Pete's sake. It wasn't on YouTube, okay? It was on Facebook. Facebook flags your post for saying the word trash.
Yeah.
Even if you're talking about actual garbage, they don't even care. They don't want that word used anymore. You can't even use the word trash in any way. So it's automatically flagged. If there was a real threat, it would have been flagged. And you telling me you loved your son so much, but you weren't privy to an actual threat, give me a break. There were people that were angry. There were people that talked shit. That is for sure. But nobody threatened his life. And the person who was hurt the most, besides Mallory's parents, was Anthony. And he and Paul made peace at her funeral. And he acknowledged that Paul did feel awful for what happened. He did have remorse. He was not a terrible human being. And that's coming from the kid whose girlfriend
Yeah.
was flung out of his arms. He was holding her and he lost her.
Yeah.
And if he's saying that about Paul, then I do not believe for 1 second that anybody who was actually angry at the Murdaughs would have taken it. Wasn't a vigilante thing, but it does make for a good story because that's exactly how the investigation started out, by looking at every single one of those people, and that includes the Stephen Smith case. They looked at that one too. Now they reopened it for a different reason, but they were already looking at it. So there you go.
But I think I would have to go then. I was thinking more about the Maggie aspect of it. But the thing is, because I sometimes I still debate that whether or not intended, unintended. I don't know. But a part of me knows, like, he knew that she was going out there with him that night. Like,
Well, he knew she was there because he was there.
Yeah. And that's where Like I want to say no, like for like my gut for the sake of humanity wants to say no. God, please tell me they weren't both the intended. There shouldn't be a target, but God for no,
But
please don't
they
be
were
two.
both. They were
But I
both.
can't get
Mhm.
over her. Yeah, I can't. That's the one
Which
thing. Like I.
he's
Hmm.
so stupid because actually, if Paul and Maggie were both shot, my
Hmm.
inclination would actually be that it was revenge for something Alec did, not something Paul did. Idiot. If I were law enforcement, but they didn't
Yeah, and
listen to
like,
me.
why would he, if he wanted to try, like, why would he even lure, like, why did Maggie have to be killed too? It's like what confuses me. You know what I
But
mean? Like, this is where I have trouble with it because it's like, maybe
this is
because
where I.
So I have a
he knew
question on
about
the
his,
lured thing. You think he actually lured them there to do this?
No, I don't think it was a lure.
I
The
don't
way we're
either.
thinking. I think, look, regardless of what was going on between Maggie and Alec, at the end of the day, she loved him and she cared about him
Hmm.
and she worried about him. And we know that
Hmm.
because of the testimony from Blanca. And
Hmm.
you can, anybody that's been married for a long time and has, children and all of that stuff, marriages are difficult and they go through phases. And you can be completely disgusted with your spouse, but you can even be having an affair and still care. As messed up as that sounds, you can still care and not want anything and worry. And clearly, that's where Maggie was. And I don't know, I can't say what I know the rumors, but I'm not gonna. I can't say whether she was or not. If
but
she
like my
was,
thing, sorry,
there'll be evidence of it. But
yeah,
I don't
my
think
thing
he
is
Yeah,
though,
I,
like
really.
if
I don't
Paul,
buy it.
I
if
think
Paul
he
was just a
used.
target, why not do it at a different time
Well,
where only
right.
he would be killed?
Right. What I think happened, lured, I don't think it okay, lured not the way we think of lure as being. What he
As in
did, in my
premeditation,
opinion,
Lord.
no,
No,
yeah,
lured as
like
in like trapping them in is what
tricked.
I'm thinking.
Like tricked.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Like,
I
hey,
think
come
he did,
over so I can
right.
kill you, but
What
without
I
you knowing.
think he did was he used their love against them. He knew that if he asked Maggie to come, she would. And she did. That's what I think. I don't think it was a lure like
When
he lied to her or used some ruse or some subterfuge to get her to go out there. I think he
Hmm.
used her love for him
But
and
I haven't
and
seen
that's how
any,
we got her out there.
when did
Alexandra, I
he
haven't seen anything about her divorcing him. I don't think she was going to divorce him. I think
she
that
wasn't.
the opposite.
I
Because
think
if
she
That's a
was wanted.
face that's a Facebook fallacy right
Mm.
there.
I
That's
don't think
where
she was going to divorce him either.
mm-mm.
I think she was looking at. I think she did have some questions about the concerns in terms of something being up in terms of something that she's going to be her signatures on something kind of
yeah,
deal like, and I don't
That's
know if my signature should be on this kind of thing. I
That's
do
good night,
think.
right.
MK. Listen, I
Mhm.
think Maggie was
MK, bye.
keenly
Thank
aware.
you so
By
much.
I am
MK. Did I
Kay.
say MK? I want to make sure because didn't want to have a Freudian slip and use NK because that is not what I was trying to say. But good night. I
We
know that would
love
be
our
terrible,
MK.
wouldn't it? Good night, MK. Thank you so much for coming and becoming a member and gifting the memberships. I really appreciate that. That was incredibly kind of you. I
Yes,
appreciate that
thank
so
you for my
much.
membership.
Now I
And the
need to do something
traveling.
with it. I need to do more member stuff. Okay, so I think Maggie was suspicious because I'm on the line with you guys. She knew that hearing was coming up. And I think she thought that Alec was going to drop like a truth bomb. Like he was
Mhm.
finally going to clue her in on the real shit. Like he was worried or this is what they have. I think that's what she was suspect of. I don't think she thought he was going to do what he did. I don't think she thought he was up to something in the fact that he was going to ambush her and Paul. That is
I think
otherwise she
he
never would have gone.
I think she was hoping to get a confession on what was going on with their I think that's what she was hoping for. That's just my stupid, but I do. I think she was in hopes of getting some kind of answer to their financial situation. As far as
When do
being
y'all
lured,
think?
But
When
like,
do y'all
why
think
would
he planned
Alex
this?
kill her? Is still my question. Like, what was he like? Why would she be a target and not just Paul?
Because
well,
she is tied to some of the financial stuff.
And she could rat
Put,
him out, maybe.
well,
No, not. And I think Maggie might. I think there might be
I
some
think
other something else going on there.
I was almost wondering if it's almost like so she can't be helped, like kind of what he wanted to happen on the side of the road kind of deal.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I could
We
see that for
missed
a
it on
minute.
Saturday, Kate. LFT busted out with all kind. I mean, there and Tia with the real estate and this. Just
Uh-huh.
brace yourself. She. There are some things that she did financially with real estate and properties that don't seem. The milk ain't clean.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't look
Yeah.
clean.
well, that's only one county. I just pulled up the second county, and it looks like the same situation.
Around the same time, each time too, when he signed the stuff, when he sold the or transferred it to her name or sold it to
Well,
her.
it had to be
Because
because Moselle's in two counties.
Moselle's completely in her
yeah,
name too. I
yeah.
think he thought that it would delay things for him, and that he would get money from them
Mm-hmm.
somehow, and that he would be able to pay some of this stuff off back with the money that he gets
And
from.
continue to cover and then continue to
Yeah.
the web and cover his tracks. But here's my
Yes, I think
question.
that's a part of it, of why he killed her.
Okay, in terms of planning, a plan, if you will, in terms of deciding this is my own, like, this is my best and only option. Is that him driving home from work making that decision? Is that when he's looking at the
Oh
sunflowers with
no, I
Paul?
think he planned it 6 months ago, because that's when conveniently, well, or unless he did it that day and made it appear like it was done 6 months before that. But her will, her estate in her will was changed to his dad. It was crossed out with a pen, never rewritten up, typed up, and crossed out her sister's name and put his dad's name on there.
Okay. So it
So
wouldn't
like
be
the name on her
Lynn.
estate
Okay.
was changed to his dad's name, and then his dad was dying, so they would probably
His
default
dad
it
did
to,
die 4
yeah.
days after the murders.
So it would
in that
default to him, right? Like, wouldn't it default to him?
No.
actually
Not necessarily. No, it may
not
go
that
to the kids first.
yeah,
Or it may be stuck in probate just because of the
because
way that it was
of
crossed
this
out.
stuff. Yeah.
But
Right.
That was
maybe
what I was
Well,
he
thinking.
right, but
maybe he
prior
thought,
to that, though, depending on how it's written, it can go. You know what I mean? Like it can go next generation. But right, yes.
maybe he
But
Does it?
thought that he would be, because he's a lawyer, that he would be able to somehow, be able to, or what's that called, where you file that thing where, like Barry Morphew did, so you could like take over the stuff,
What
like I forget what
You
Power
mean-
of attorney?
Barry Morphew filed for something because they had like a house that they
You
were
mean
trying
like
to sell.
like people like contesting a will kind of deal, or like fighting?
Like that he would be able to take control of her decisions because she was missing.
Power of attorney.
Yeah, but like they awarded him that in court because she wasn't there, and they were in the middle of in the middle of selling a house, and both of their names were on it. So
That's doesn't that apply to Murdaugh too? Wasn't that part of the thing? Because are they both on the? Because wasn't there a loan that he needed? There's something he needed to do another transfer, or there was like applying for another loan or something. And I do believe he needed Maggie's signature in order
yeah,
to
because he
do
was
it.
trying to put up Moselle
yeah,
as
so
collateral.
that's what I'm saying. I think he thought that he would be able to take over like what she owned and sell it. He wouldn't be able to do that with her still alive. She'd be like, "Get the hell out of here! Why would I sell the house? You know what I mean? This is our house."
Or
Like he can't tell her, "I sold all this money and need to pay it back."
Lou, was it Moselle or did he want her to do the Odesto property? And she didn't want to because the beach house is the thing that she loves the most. So she doesn't want to use that as
Oh, they were both on the
collateral.
Odesto property. I know that. Like they
That's,
both
I think
owned it.
that's what it was. Something that
And then
she
owned Moselle outright.
outright. Yeah.
And they
So
were.
he
I know
couldn't
that. I know that
couldn't do
Moselle, that
anything
he tried to put Moselle up as collateral at Palmetto for
for something. I do think
something.
you're. It's convoluted. I mean, it's
It is, but as
convoluted.
far as her rings, I've been thinking about the ring being under the car seat. I this is what's interesting to me. When did the ring get there? And I ask that because of
He
this.
took it off her finger and
But
hid it,
but
or-
listen, he was at. This is why I'm asking. Did she take it off her finger and hide it, or did he? And the reason
That
I'm
was
asking that is because in the body cam footage, he's asked, and on the 911 call, if anything looks out of place. He's asked it also in the cop car after the fact. Now, don't you think that if she took it off and hid it, he would notice? You would notice your spouse's wedding ring being gone. Although, granted, her hands were underneath her body.
I don't
Maybe
think
he
he
couldn't
had his
see it.
on. I don't think he was wearing his. I don't remember seeing him wearing.
But how
a
did
band.
who put her ring? How did her ring get there? And how was it not found until Blanca just casually is cleaning the vehicle and moves the seat back?
I think Tia's got a good possible.
All right, Tia, hit it.
Plausible.
I'm going to let Nestor out one more time. So you hit, I'm going to listen and chat, but unmuted. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I have. It's a wild theory, so I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this because I don't. Like I said, I don't know the details of who drove what last, but I wondered if maybe that was the vehicle that they drove to the funeral. And after the funeral director gave them her rings. He tossed them in, cup holder, whatever, didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. Or
Fell out of his
yes.
pocket.
Felt whatever, yes. Or, you know, when her nails were done. I mean, I don't take my rings off when my nails are done, I'll be honest with you. So I see that can happen, yes, but I don't typically take mine off when I have a manicure. I just thought it was because I had to go pick up jewelry after a funeral before. Maybe that was one of the things.
But aren't they in a bag? I just thought about that.
No.
When they hand us. Okay.
No.
It's not okay.
Well, ours were not.
Or like a little envelope or something.
It was in
no.
his car though, or her car?
It was in her.
I don't know. In her.
It was the Mercedes is her car.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I don't know. You know, maybe she just took them off and dealing with the dogs, and she threw them in there. I don't.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if she's a woman who valued her rings, or I mean, there's people like me who I come in my house, I take my wedding rings off because I value them. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be cleaning and doing crap with it's just, and then there's people who never take them off.
I never take mine off.
Yeah. See, I
clean it, but I never take it off. Like I'll clean it
right
every couple weeks, but I don't take it off.
Okay,
and
hold on.
a lot of
No, you keep.
I
going,
just
Tia,
know
sorry.
me though. I'll forget to put it back on, or I'll lose it or something. So I don't like taking mine off. I lost it one time. It slid off my finger and went underneath a car in a parking lot, and I couldn't find it for 2 days. And thank God the car was abandoned. And I went back, like retraced all my steps, and I went back to this pharmacy that I was at, and I saw it glimmering under the damn abandoned car. And had that car not been abandoned, somebody would have found it. And I never took it off since.
My God.
Wait, Tia, you leave yours on, right? You said.
No, I generally take mine off when I come in the house. My bra and my wedding rings come off. It's a fact.
But like, okay, but once again, I forgot about.
Put them all in the same spot.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
That comes off.
I mean, I know.
See,
Okay, we all know that. But like, okay, hold on. But the thing about her, having her nails done that day. Okay, I could see her taking it off. I kind of forgotten about that. That's plausible. But like Jen just said, but her vehicle wasn't taken that night or the next morning. That's right, because because this is where SLED's going to get in trouble again, because no one analyzed the car or found anything. It just went
Yeah.
to the police station. Who
Okay,
knows, or
so
like to that impound, and then
that
Randy
brings
calls.
up a question. Her car was taken that night or the next morning, right?
All right.
Is that what Jen was saying? It was taken that night or the next morning?
Yes. But her
Is that
yes, but her vehicle was taken that night or the next morning. Yes.
okay? So did he where work? Did he just take her rings off and toss them?
I think it fell out. I think
Yeah,
I think she dropped it. I think she dropped it from after getting her nails done, possibly fell out of her purse or something, and she didn't even maybe really realize it either. Or she knew it was.
See, and
I don't know.
Jen's one of those people I see. She keeps her ring on except the shower. Right. Well, that's why I take my rings off right there, because I constantly putting lotion on my hands after washing them 50 million times, thanks to COVID. And my ring flew off, and it's just a long story, but I never want that feeling. Like Kate was talking about, I never want that feeling again. That's a horrible feeling. So I come in, the bra comes off, the rings go in the ring place. I don't take them off when I have manicures. That's just, I mean, you can, because they're slather and the lotion on your hands and things like that, but I don't. And maybe she was one of those people that did. Now, if she did, she certainly didn't give a shit about her ring if she just tossed it in her Mercedes like that. I'm just saying. I don't think she valued it that much if she's just flinging it around.
Oh my gosh! What about if she was walking out of the house that night? If the doorbell or the door video surveillance of them at the front of walking in and out the front door, or the Moselle house, actual house. Maybe that was her. What about if she had, because they show her first. She walks out. They've eaten dinner, and she looks down. She's like, "Oh my God, I don't have my ring." What about if she's just going to her car to look for a ring or something? Because then Paul goes out, and he's like, "I'm going over to the kennels," and she's like, "All right, don't go by yourself. I'll go with you." They both leave. I don't know. I'm thinking if I was the defense,
Speculation,
I'd be like, okay,
Your
wait.
Honor.
Yep, I know. I'm thinking like I'm Mr. Harp. Like I feel almost bad for Griffin and Harp right now, because they're like, dude, well, maybe it was. You know what? I think I sneezed that afternoon, and that changed the course of events of the entire day.
Diane Marie, me either. I don't wear my rings and water. Okay, so here's another funny story for you. We had just gotten married. We went swimming in the ocean. We were in St. Lucia. And all of a sudden it hit me that a friend of mine right before we went to St. Lucia said, "Oh my God, be careful of the barracuda. They like shiny things."
Mm-hmm.
So while we were swimming in the ocean, I had a panic attack and went, shit, I got my ring on. So I took my rings off. I handed them to my husband, and I was like, "Here, hold these." And I beeline to the shore because I got freaked out that there was barracuda in the water. So he now is holding my ring, his ring and necklace. And he's like, "Well, for crying out loud, why don't you just put a disco ball on my ass and put me out the ocean?"
Already trying to collect on that life insurance, huh, Tia?
Oh, yeah. Them were the poor days. I wouldn't have gotten much.
Me either.
Did he say in court that he did take a life insurance policy out on Maggie too?
Did you ask that question again? No, because I don't.
Or somebody said, like, because I thought he did it, and then somebody said to me, "Oh no, they said in court today that this was like last week or maybe the end of the week before that," and somebody's like, "Oh no, they said in court that he did have a what's it called, an
life
insurance policy out
insurance
on Maggie." Yeah,
huh?
because I thought
I'll
he
look
did
into it because I thought he didn't either.
but somebody
I
was like, "Yeah,
didn't
they said it in
think
court," and I was like,
so.
"Damn, I must have missed that part."
I didn't think he did, but or was that something that he was maybe trying to work on? Who knows? Maybe the bank just found the papers, or It was in a
Well, I'd be curious
safety
who the
deposit box.
beneficiary is. And I'd like to know who the
Uh,
company is that wrote it, because
Yeah.
if he took it out, there's all. I mean, just
There's
stop
all
me by
kinds of
saying.
there's all kinds of stuff wrong there. You
Well,
can't just
the
be
whole
doing that.
the whole ethics thing, it just goes right, like insurance
I
fraud
don't think
and
he.
lawyers writing their own
Yeah.
policies is not really something that, I mean, it's taken
I
very
don't.
seriously.
I
You
think.
just
I think he's. I think he's smart enough as a lawyer to know if there was insurance on them. I would have to say I do think his lawyer brain would kick in and be like,
Yes,
okay, if I take them out, I'm going to immediately get that money. Everyone's going to know that I'm getting that money. That's my reason to take them out. I need that money because of this boat case.
correct.
That's where you
Exactly
have a
right.
reason like that for a motive, but that wasn't it.
And
There's
I'll
no.
say that, yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. And I'll say this too. I have to add this caveat because I had forgotten about this. We keep on wanting to know why Maggie 2, why Maggie 2? Because Tinsley threatened to sue both Maggie and Paul. Remember?
Oh, Tinsley is suing everybody that's not moving. Parker's, Buster, Maggie, Alec, Luther's,
The whole
the whole, yeah.
Murdaugh trust. He was not playing, but he initially, at that time when they were unalived, they were not named in the lawsuit. Maggie and Paul were not.
Mhm.
And Tinsley said on the stand that he told Alec if he had any inclination that he had tried to fix a jury, that he would immediately file a lawsuit against Maggie and Paul in the Berminger. What's that other state? Bama? No, the other county, not Hampton County, but the other county that starts with a B.
Colt.
No, B,
Oh.
where he was from.
Barnhill, Barnville. Wait, no,
No,
No.
that's V as in Victor, Varnville.
that's Barnville.
I'll have to look it
Buford.
up.
Buford County.
That's
Buford County. Yes, that's it. Buford. He was gonna. So when we want to figure out why it was, I really think, and this is so. I hate saying this, and I hate that his brain is like this, but it's not me thinking this way. It's him. I really think it's that cut and dry for him. I really think that he recognized that there was going to be. I honestly think he did it exactly for the reason that Tinsley said, that he unalived Paul and Maggie because of the boat accident, and he knew that he would then
mhm.
become a sympathetic defendant, and that it really was that cut and dry for him.
I
It really
agree.
was.
So it
He-
says online that they wrote. So John Marvin, I guess. All right. So John Marvin wrote up like all her financials or whatever, and John Marvin in an interview said that he released. I guess his like. I guess
he was her personal representative.
Yeah, and he released that to her family. But he wrote that there was no no life insurance, but it's still possible that she could have had one, especially since Alex had a really large one on himself. They could have just wrote that. So I'm wondering if maybe like they got one through like one of the banks or whatever. Or
I'll look into it, Kate, but to see if somebody testified to that. But I've not heard that.
I didn't either. Somebody just said it to me. They were like, "Oh yeah, they said in trial that."
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
hear
In
that
fact,
at all.
everything I heard in the trial was to the contrary.
Mhm.
Yeah, same here.
I have heard nothing of insurance on her.
No, because there's no immediate funny. That's why, like,
That's why
what
people
worked.
don't understand it,
Uh-huh.
because there isn't an immediate financial gain.
hmm
He
I've
doesn't
never
have-
really
he
seen a
doesn't-
case like this that's
And-
with an abstract, for lack of a better word, motive.
And
Like
it's it's very difficult. And even like with his defense. So when his father died, okay, Alex's inheritance went into a trust for him. It was sheltered from anybody being able to get their mitts on it through the boat accident, um, whatever, lawsuit. Okay. And so that money that he inherited is in a trust, and that is what's paying for his defense because it was
Okay.
approved through the trust because it's for his self-care. And
Hmm.
Gotcha.
the Satterfield's attorney spoke today and said that he estimates that this defense is right at $1 million, probably upwards to 2 by the time it's all said and done, because evidently this is something we don't know yet. We know that they've talked about experts with the OnStar. Those people don't work for free. I know he talked about having the jury go visit the farm. I would imagine that I think that they might have a scene recreation, and that's not cheap either to get somebody to do that. And I'm talking about the staircase level scene recreation where they're I think that's what they're going to do, and they're going to try to blow all of this I can't even talk forensics out of the water. They're going to try to muddy it so much that the jury is confused. I think that's
They're
what
gonna
their
have to
attempt.
do it like all this week, though, aren't they? Because didn't they say they're wrapping up this week?
That the
That's bunk.
prosecution. No, there's no
Probably
way
not.
because this OnStar thing came out, and they do intend to put the custodian of the OnStar records on the stand. Harpootlian is going to have his own experts, and I don't think I don't think that they're going to be done by Wednesday. I really don't. I don't see how that's possible. I mean, yes, now they finally had the but this all hinges on the number of witnesses that they have left, right? But what they can't count on and are only estimating is the length of cross-examination. So cross-examination is based on direct. So that's why you'll hear the objections out of the scope or whatnot, because you can only cross-examine a witness based on their testimony given under direct. So you can't just be asking them random shit. It has to be what they already testified to, essentially. And
It's also how many times are we going to let the jury stand up, sit down, fight,
Correct.
go excuse
Correct.
them?
Correct.
There's no way in
Correct.
48 hours this is going to be tied up neatly in a bow. I'm sorry, I don't
Correct.
buy
I
it.
mean, there's the pathologist that testified today took, I don't know, 2 hours, if not more, a little bit more.
Was she the allele woman? She was the allele woman.
The DNA, yeah. Miss
Well,
Wynn.
No, I'm talking about the pathologist that performed, the last witness to testify today.
Oh, they were both on for a really long time.
Yes,
Okay.
which means
I feel like the DNA lady was on longer than the pathologist.
Right. But I do believe that it's going to take a fair amount of time, because her testimony is different from any other. I've never seen a pathologist testify to the order and do nothing like what she did. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've seen them testify to the order, but not go so far in depth the way that she did.
Yeah.
And the Murdaugh's defense is going to have to poke holes in her testimony. They have to try to impeach her. And so, yeah.
Do you think this having to bring in the alternates, do you think this is going to be a problem?
I was worried about that too. They got 3 left.
Well, no, because the thing is, this is the thing about alternates, okay? That's what they're there for. Okay. They're there for the whole duration. they just don't ever get to, they just usually don't get to deliberate. They get to hear the entire case. They just don't get to deliberate. And usually what happens is nobody knows who the alternates are. So usually they have them all sitting there. And at the end, what they'll do then is they'll draw straws or pick numbers or whatever. And then that's how the core jury is formed. And they even, I've seen cases where the jury is deliberating and they hold the alternates and they hold them through the duration of deliberation because you never know what could happen.
Okay.
Somebody can get sick and can't deliberate.
I
Mhm.
guess maybe it was someone who was currently sitting on, who's not an alternate. I guess I thought Court TV someone said there's one that they were worried. They were like, that's got to be hard because the person had, I believe, because of the C word, had to excuse themselves. And it was one that the defense probably didn't want to lose. They said it. I switched over to Court TV this afternoon
Oh,
from
yeah.
Law and Crime. But they did, it was, and I couldn't remember her because I was like, oh gosh, this is another way. Like,
Oh, you meant like
They were
in
bringing
that
up the
way.
possibility of a mistrial, saying
Yes,
like,
uh-huh.
oh,
Yeah,
well,
that was,
if something happens and everybody gets COVID, it could be a mistrial. And the judge was like, yeah, no, we're going for it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the
judge was
court
like,
clerk coming in, handing out masks right and left like they were M&Ms. Here, you get a mask. You get a
I
mask.
love
And everybody was
whoever
like,
is the one calling the court to order now. It's nice and loud. And even when like the jury has
mhm.
left, he'll tell them, you better get, like, basically they start talking and he's like, the court's still in order or come to order or something like that. I love it. He's nice and
Mhm.
loud.
You better get right
I
with the
love
Lord because the judge is coming in.
Yep.
I love it when he says, let's all stretch for 1 minute. When he goes, let's all just stand and stretch for 1 minute, or let's all stand for a minute. Or I just think it comes like I think he's about to like do the gavel to be like, all right, cross or something, and instead he's like, let's all just everybody join me on your feet.
I notice he watches the jury a lot, and I think what I think he's doing is I think that he sees them starting to get them glazed over eyes, like
Yep.
a Krispy Kreme donut,
Hmm.
and he wants them to, he pays attention. He's on top of it. I like Judge Newman. I do.
I like Judge Newman. I have one quick question. I don't know if it's a quick question, but before I'm going to hop down after this.
Yeah, because
I
it's
gotta hop
midnight.
down,
I gotta
too.
get. I was about to end it, so don't worry.
Yeah.
You're not leaving. Don't feel like you're abandoning my ass. I was about to end it anyway, but go ahead. Ask your question, babe.
What do you think, honestly, in your opinions, what do you think Alec Murdaugh was thinking when the lady was talking about the wounds and his eyes were red? Now, I didn't see a lot of tears. I didn't see a whole lot of rocking, but I did see some breakage in his demeanor. What do you think he was actually thinking?
I'm fucked.
That's a hard question.
I'm fucked.
I'm in
I'm
trouble.
fucked.
No regret there. No, oh my God, thinking about my son.
I do
No.
think that
Maybe a little bit.
he does have probably a little bit of regret, but not the regret for doing it.
For getting caught.
What it was wrong. It's just that he has regret that he did it and he got caught. You know what I mean? Like, if I'd have never done this, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Not like actual regret. Like I should never have done
regret.
That to my correct.
Misplaced
He has
regret.
regrets for himself.
I
He has
agree.
regrets
That's what
for
I think
himself.
too.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
That's what
I was
I
just
think.
curious what you guys thought because when I saw it, I was like, huh,
Kaz.
I guess.
I think that's just where he I think that's just where he crumbles. I think
Mhm.
it's where that's because I think he kind of disengaged when he did it, and he knew what it looked like. I don't think maybe he didn't mean for it to be quite like that. I think that's a hard thing to have to remember, especially if you
Mhm.
did it and saw it. Like that's, I think it's literally the vision of it, of the aftermath, is what brings the tears to his eyes. I think that's simply all it is.
So
It's
you
just like
don't
how
think that it's any of the they're talking about my wife and son, because that just blows my mind. Like,
No.
I agree with every single one of you. I think it's the I'm fucked and I'm sitting in a courtroom and this is my life I can't believe this is my life right now. I'm a Murdaugh.
I think the
I'm a
way that she
Dick Murdaugh.
testified and explained those injuries the way that she did, I think that he knew the jury hates me.
Yeah.
They
he
hate me.
looked old
Damn.
today. He looked old to me.
Yes, he did. Today
He
was
looked
the first
old.
day that
Today
he
he
started
looked
looking.
old.
Yeah.
Hmm
Well, raggy.
Yeah, but it was something like he
Raggedy.
wasn't. It's like it just. He looked. He is. He kind of is like a rag. Like
She's
raggedy.
right. It's
He
just
is,
funny.
but you know what? That damn starched collar pisses me off. You're coming from a jailhouse and look at you with your
That
damn
toupee
starched
Or
pisses
how
shirt
me
he can
and
fold his
collar.
jacket over his
Oh,
cuffs. That
Mhm.
aggravates it. Let me fold my
Me
suit jacket over
too.
my cuffs so you can't see that I'm in jail.
Mm-hmm. Pisses
I
me
can't.
right off.
I can't have my monogram crap in here. They're gonna know it's mine.
You can't see my cufflinks.
The toupee also irritates me. And yes, I'm going to get to the bottom. That's a side project I have. Don't think I've forgotten Murdaugh. I'm coming for that toupee. I'm going to get to the bottom of it because
She gonna whip your wig.
I think he. I think Trump slept on the top bunk. He slept on the bottom, and whatever fell on.
Because when
Alexander
he
said
head,
tears
he
are
does
for
it in
his
that
lost.
way.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Tears are for his lost persona of the great family man.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Persona being the key word there,
Correct.
Alexandra. I appreciate your comments tonight. I've been reading hers.
Me too.
They're really
Hers have been
good.
great. Everybody's have been really great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have a great
Thank
chat
you.
over here.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for having us up.
Yes.
I don't even remember what my original question was when you were like, LFT, y'all said you had a question, and I was like, you're right, we did.
Yeah, but we talked about a ton of stuff, so I'm sure
Yeah.
in there somewhere your question got answered. But
I hope so. But
if
thank
it
you.
didn't, email me and I'll give you my phone number and you can just text me.
I hope you'll get the early morning text.
I'm up early anyway. Doesn't matter.
Tia's like, do it. Actually, that sounds like a great idea.
I can hear Tia right now.
Let me sleep a little bit later.
She's really not a burden, you guys. I'm just teasing. I swear.
I know. Listen. I have my cases.
Listen,
too.
I love that you guys are connecting on this case. So if there's things that you can, hell yeah!
Oh, it's midnight already. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, Punksy.
Happy Valentine's Day, Punksy. You know what? 10 minutes before I went live, there's this person that's been commenting on some of my West Memphis 3, right? Just over the weekend, just back and forth. And I'm not indulging. I wasn't engaging. But it is I did engage with somebody on that thread who is a longtime supporter of mine that always comes to my West Memphis 3 stuff. And this guy just got so friggin' belligerent with me. And I was so annoyed and irritated when I started the live, but I'm so glad I don't have that feeling at all anymore. I mean, I'm annoyed and irritated with Murdaugh, but like, I'm not personally annoyed and irritated. I was 10 minutes because this person was just, I mean, no matter what, I tried to not. First of all, he comes to my comments frequently and insults the shit out of my work, which irritates me to no end. You know, because I don't listen. I'm okay with however you land on the West Memphis 3 case. I really am. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm solid in mine. I've done the research. Okay, so for somebody to come over to my comment section and act like I haven't, or straight out say that I haven't, and that I'm stupid, and that I'm blind, and that I'm misleading people, and I should have this person or that person or the other person on my panel, and they would chew me up and spit me out. Like I don't have them on my panel because I'm in fear. No, I don't have them on my panel because decades ago, I've already spoken to these people. I don't need to speak to other people to
Right?
understand this case. The fucking case file is there. I can
It
read
just
it for
happened to me
myself.
too. I'm feeling it. I was
Ugh,
curious
just piss
too.
me the fuck. You guys, y'all know I pretty much keep my cool. I hardly ever get like snarky or anything. But I did say he said that he was not impressed with me, and I said you're something like you're not impressed with me. Oh darn! Believe me when I say it will distress me throughout the day.
Well, it's like when
And I
someone
sure
insulted our
stand him.
spreadsheet. Yeah, when
Oh.
we when someone
Where's
insulted
your
our spreadsheet.
metadata? These are just words. These are just summaries. Where's your metadata? And I was like,
I'll tell you. Let me tell you where my metadata is,
Send
buddy.
me
Where's
over
your
and I'll
metadata?
show you.
That's what they
Let
said.
me
oh,
data
yeah.
is.
Yeah, they said
Get real close to my steel toe boot, and I'll show you right where my metadata is going.
I was so irritated. That one comment, y'all could have said anything, and that one, and I was like, I'll address that because I would love. First of all, f you off a little bit, but also these are. He was like, these are just words. These are just words or something. This isn't any new information, and I was like, all right. You tell me how do you do that? What's the number form of the alphabet? Like, I don't tell me, and I'll put this in numerical form with some dots and colons and maybe an asterisk here and there. And you read it, you piece of doo-doo.
Well, I was like, you know what? If you put in half the work that we put in, you can tell us then about it. But
Right?
Punksy, look at how amazing
So
she
sweet. You're
is.
so sweet. Thank you, Punksy. Thank you so much. It's just annoying to me. I'm very cordial.
It's
This
rude.
person has been in my comments on my videos for a long time, and I typically don't even reply. But this time, because he was going at somebody that it's even if they didn't agree with me, the way he was talking to this person, and even if this person wasn't a supporter of mine, I would still defend them. It started out by me just saying not to call names. That's it.
Yeah.
And then and I can't, I don't get it. You're not going to change my mind, bruh. And if you'd listened to my videos, which I know you didn't because I've already addressed your freaking telenovela you wrote in the comment section and debunked like 99% of the comment that you just made with science. I'm sorry that you're adverse to science. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you, but that's how these cases roll. Okay. And I even K'd him. I even said K. That was my only comment.
You hit him with the K.
K and
Did
a
you
period.
oh, see, LFT would
bye.
have done okay.
All I did was
Okay.
K, period. That's it.
Okay.
Argue with me and that's fine, but don't insult me, especially when I'm not insulting you. There's no cause for that. And this is why I don't engage. I've already debated this case 20 years ago. For years, I debated it. I don't want to do it anymore. If I wanted a debate, I wouldn't be on YouTube, bruh. I'd be on fucking Facebook where that kind of thing is acceptable.
The broad in the telenovela, I'm done. Like, I was like, what did she just say? And she just repeated it. That was the word I was trying to remember that you said. I was like, between that and telenovela, keep going. I'm good.
And that is why, my friends, right there, I don't do Facebook groups because I get in trouble. I start throwing facts around.
That kind of thing is acceptable because it's not. You don't have a video option, right? YouTube is video. So you make a video, you state your point, yada, 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 right? If I wanted to argue back and forth, I'd go back over to Tapatalk, number one, because that's still going on. Or I'd take the shit to Facebook.
What that is.
But it's Easy Board. Easy Board turned to Tapatalk. But
those are words I do not know.
That's a long time ago. That's how old.
But that's the point.
And how long I've been in this case. Every person he's trying to get me to have on my panel, I've debated at one time or another. They have their opinion. I have mine. There's really no reason for us to. I mean, no. And that's not even the point of my videos. All the point of my videos are, and then I swear to God, I'm going to be done ranting about this. I'm not trying to tell anybody what their opinion should be. I'm only pointing out the stuff that wasn't in the documentary so people have a fuller picture. That's it. Calm down. Nothing I do or say, or you do or say on these YouTube streets, seriously, is going to impact this judge's decision. She's either going to, or the appeals process for the DNA. It's going to happen no matter what you and I do. So I don't know why you got to come at me like that. Calm down. It ain't that deep.
I'm just going to give you the Weezer. Shut up. That's what he's. Shut up. Just tell her shut up.
You're evil and you must be destroyed.
That's she's. You have the handwriting of a serial killer. Listen, I love you girls so much, and Jen Lou, I'm really grateful that you had us up. I really am. It's a pleasure getting to know you and getting to pick your brain on this particular case. I've learned so much from Kate, from Jen, like I said, I've named all the people. I'm just really grateful because, like I said, I'm in.
It's been amazing. I've heard, like, we've had new perspectives. You guys get me to think of things a different, like, not bring light to a different perspective, which I always enjoy. Because look, at the end of the day, none of us were there. We can't know for 100% certainty what occurred on any case. Bruh.
Amen.
Work with what we got.
Right. And I'm sorry that you're upset by science.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Right.
Well, I'm a hop down. You leave Jen Lou alone, and we're gonna have some problems. I'm coming for you.
Sup, bruh? Yeah,
bruh. You don't want to brown, bruh. You don't want to brown.
Listen, mother trucker. We in the Lou crew now. What up, bruh?
What up, bruh?
I gotta get off before I start barking like BMX or something.
Because Jen Lou ain't nothing to fuck with.
Mic drop. Peace.
Gangsta.
Don't make me Wu-Tang Clan your ass. I'll do it. Space killer.
Oh my God. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to go end on that note.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Good night,
the best
ladies.
mic drop ever.
Bye, you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.